Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to another fun and fact-filled CAF update, episode 119. Wow, we're getting older every week, aren't we? So, very eventful week for me. As many of you know, I was in Baltimore over the weekend. I got to hang out with many collectors and fans of the hobby. Rubbed elbows with a few artists as well. So it was a great time. I had a really good time. I'm sure many of you who were there, who I didn't run into, also had a good time because I was only there for one day, really, where I got to enjoy the show. That was on Saturday, but I got in late on Friday, had to leave early on Sunday. So, but yeah, a good time by and large. So, but yeah, I'll tell you, just a very, just so for us, a very busy week. We had a really fun show with both Jordan and Nick on Tuesday. It was one of the more interesting outcomes at the end of the show, just getting those last minute sales for Jordan. Hadn't really seen something like that happen before with a big package deal, but yeah, that was pretty cool. And we had a fun show last night. I mean, we went into the recap with not a whole lot of sales, and then look what Anthony managed to do. So very fantastic, showing. I think from both guys. Mike ended up selling well in the recap too. So you just never know what's going to happen when you back two Dueling Dealers episodes on top of one another. But wow, lots of people in the chat today. Nice to see everybody. Dino and Mikhail. Nick, you're always in here early. Nice to see you. And of course, nice to finally meet you in person at Baltimore. West, Ron, David. But so yeah, it was funny. I started to, you leave a show and you don't really realize how many people you from that you got to meet or hang out with at a show. And so when I got home, I started just taking notes. So I was like, I'm going to mention everybody that I got a chance to hang out with while I was in Baltimore. And I know I'm not even done. And I was right after I got done. I'm like, I don't even remember. I mean, I know that Hero was a huge show, but Baltimore was even bigger in some ways. And I'm sure I didn't write down everybody's name that I saw in a single day. Ah, yes, West has also seen the announcement that I wanted to make sure everybody knows. Colin is I don't know how old he is, but it is his birthday today for my editor. I did send him about a dozen things to post today, so I do apologize, Colin, if you're in the audience. I hope you're not. Hope you're having fun doing something enjoyable with friends over there in Beantown. So, but yes, it's Colin's birthday. He works his tail off for the hobby, for CAF, and he's definitely without him we wouldn't have shows like this, and we wouldn't have half the things we have, because he takes a load off of my plate, doing all the market reports for me, the auction previews. He writes the daily emails. That one week when he was on vacation, it was brutal trying to pick up the slack from Colin. So yes, happy birthday, Colin. And I do hope you took the day off, even though I sent you all that work to do at the same time. But hey, so yeah, as far as my list goes, I'm telling you, boy, the one person who I really regret not being able to spend lots of time with most people that was there. But one person traveled a long way to get to the show, and it's funny, Tim Guerrero. Tim, I don't know if Tim's in the audience. He's probably still traveling back home, but I wanted to hang out with him. He's been on the show several times, and I wanted to get a chance to chat with him. And I saw him when I finished dinner at Morton's, went to the bar upstairs, and I ran into Tim going into the bar, and I figured he was probably staying at the bar. I have no idea, but ended up talking with him just briefly. Went in and then was hanging out with a lot of people there, and I never saw Tim again. So I don't know how that was possible. Oh, Colin, yes, he's here. Hey, Colin, happy birthday, my friend. So I definitely owe Tim. One of these days, I'm gonna have to run into him again. But so many other people, Michael Barrera, somebody who's been on CAF. I think one of his ID is under 20 on CAF. I had never met him before, but he's been a frequent guy on CAF for so long. Ran into him, and yeah, I'm not gonna read this whole list. You guys know who you were if you were there. I'm just pretty amazed at how many people were there, and artist wise too. I never met Sean Chen before, and so I got to talk with him. He actually wanted to come over and meet me, so Anthony introduced me to him. We had a good talk about CAF. He enjoys everything we're doing on the channel here, and was just appreciative of the general things with comic card fans. I did talk to Jim Rugg, and we kind of exchanged emails without writing them down, so hopefully I remember it. But we did talk about potentially, doing interviews of each other, for me doing a kayfabe interview and them doing an interview with me. So, that'll probably be something that happens after the new year. but it was fun. I'd never met Jim before. I've seen him at shows, just never had the opportunity to approach him. And so I finally did. And yeah, Jim was he asked me if we would do that first. So if we can do an interview together with, first with me and then with them. So yeah, I think that'll work out good. Chen did draw Bill Lash, Marcus. I know. I thought about asking him for a Bill Lash commission, con sketch, but then I chickened out. I figured he might think I was a little weird if I did that. But yes, it was very nice getting the chance to talk with him. Nick introduced me to Jerry Ordway, and Jerry's really interested in doing an interview on the show. I mean, not an art sale, just strictly an artist interview. So I think that's definitely going to happen. Thank you, Nick. I didn't get his email, but I know that Nick can put us in touch after, now that the show's over, he can email us both. But calf servers better get ready for the kayfabe bump. Exactly. Well, fortunately, most of the bump will happen over here on YouTube, right? So I'm not too worried about that. But yes, so you know what I mean. At any rate, who else did I meet artist-wise? Oh, I got to meet and I've seen Jeff at many shows, but Jeff Moy, he's kind of a cornerstone in our chat, along with many other of you, of course. But I got to hang out with him, and talk to him for a little bit, and his brother Phil, and I gushed about the Powerpuff Girl artwork from Phil that I own, and it was so I kept showing him, I've got this cover, I've got that cover. I think Phil was like, just get it, he just thought I was I don't know, too much of a fanboy probably. But I had a good chat with the both of them, and of course I ran into Howard Chaykin. Howard was, and I'd never met Howard in person before, even though I've been on camera with him 3 or 4 times. So that was fun, very interesting. I didn't get to go by his booth. He said he brought a bunch of the new drawing samples that he was going to use in the upcoming sales show, and I didn't get over to his booth to take a look at him. He wanted me to, but Howard was exactly what I expected. He was supposed to have dinner with Nick and I on Friday, but somehow he managed to not get the memo. But we had a good dinner nonetheless. Who was with her? Michael Lovitz was sitting next to me. Joseph Melchior. Melchior's like a bad penny. It seems like every show I go to, Joseph has been at this year, which is weird, right? Because he's in London. But I have seen Joseph at Heroes, and then San Diego, and now at Baltimore. So and who else was there? Garth Ennis was at the table. I didn't get a chance to talk to Garth, but also Liam Sharp was there. I love his art, so it was lots of fun getting to hang out and at least hear him talk. Yes, that's right. His wife Chris was there as well, and Joe from Dynamite was there as well, I think, right? Yeah, Joseph Ryband, whom I really didn't get a chance to talk to either. But yes, I know, Kevin, don't give me crap. The ghost of Harlan Ellison was there as well, everybody, because I was having a senior moment later on, and last name beginning with E, auction just happened. I told Kevin Sharp that who did I have dinner with, and I mentioned Harlan Ellison. And then I said it, and I'm like, that's just not right, and he knew I was wrong too. But anyway, so other than that, I had a nice chat with Stuart Sager, and I asked him if he'd be interested in coming on the show just to BS. I've known Stuart for a very long time. He was I don't think I've ever. No, I did get a piece of artwork from him. Probably one of my early convention sketches. But he's a very wise guy for somebody who's a little bit younger than me. But I've always admired his work, and we always have fun when I get a chance to hang out and talk with him. So we had a nice long conversation with him and Tony Fleece about the hobby in general, and some of the things going on with concerns with artists and things. So I think maybe even doing a joint interview with the two of them might be fun, because Tony said that he would like to do an interview with me sometime as well. So yeah, lots of to-dos and people to get onto my schedule. So let's see. I mean, I'm kind of meandering around here, but Baltimore. So I did get some photos from some of you. I also got some video clips. Rich Cirillo sent me some stuff. He also sent me a longer video clip from the Neil Adams tribute panel that I haven't had a chance to look at yet. But he sent me a few snips from the Tom Palmer tribute panel that happened that weekend. And again, I took, I didn't take as many photos as I should. I think I mentioned that, but I was sent several pictures, which was a good thing. Some from Nick as well. So I have a rather short video clip that kind of summarizes my Friday evening and Saturday at Baltimore, and also a few bits in there from Rich. And so what I'll probably do once I get to look at the Neil Adams tribute. I'll probably incorporate a little bit of that into this Baltimore clip and post that on the channel. And from what Rich said, it's a really rather large file. He said he recorded the whole 50 minutes of the Neil Adams tribute panel. So what I'll do is if it's good, I'll post the whole thing on the channel sometime over the weekend if I have time to edit it all together. Is that bubble gum machine in the corner new? It's actually been there for a while. And I'll probably be giving some of these away. When I got the bubble gum machine, the reason I bought it, well, you can see it says Marvel Superheroes jewelry on it, as a matter of fact. So, and I don't even know what I was doing in the Gumball section. I was probably just searching on Marvel related stuff, right? Just to kind of have on the wall. That's how I got the Wolverine and a few other bits of memorabilia. But what was in the jewelry, because I've got a ton of these too. Let me see. I don't want to open them all. Let me see if I can get them out here. So look, there's like a Fantastic Four ring, and there's like a Berkey, right? There's a Spider-Man ring. What else is in this thing? Oh, come on, fish! I gotta send you one of these, brother. Silver Surfer. I don't know what else is in here. Another Silver Surfer. At any rate, yeah, I just bought it because it had that fun, the fun facade on it with the ad. But this is an apocalypse necklace, if you can believe that. So I should start putting these. I should start giving these away, huh? I've got a whole, look at this. It's a whole grocery bag full of them. When I bought it, they shipped that along with it, all these extras. So when we moved, I don't have enough storage, so I don't know where I'm going to put it all. So yeah. But I've had that thing for probably 15 years. It's just something to laugh about. It's a conversation piece, Rich. Now you know. Yeah, I make retirement look fun. When I get to retire, you know what, Wes? I actually meant to start a giveaway. Let me go ahead and do that right now. And I'll do that. You know what? I'll start that while I play the video. How's that? Let me just go ahead and play the Baltimore video for you, and then I'll announce the giveaway. So here we go.
He either scans the art or I scan the art. I'm actually scanning it both downstairs. And his work is very, very sought after in the collector's market. Sold for $12,000. Just so you know, somebody here in the audience asked me what I thought the over-under would be, and my over was $12,000.
Mine too.
All right.
I love working with him. He's also, he was a young guy. He grew up in the streets of Queens. Is that right? And he was not a guy you would want to cross. I'm sure if his son had done half the stuff he did as a kid or as a teenager, he would have killed him. But he was he was a tough guy underneath, and demanded, he had a lot of respect for the work that he did. He was not just a comic book guy, he did a lot of paintings. He learned in the Frank Riley School, and I think Riley died before he finished the courses, but he learned a great deal about color and value and saturation, painting, black and white, and brought all that stuff to the table. As most inkers, many inkers anyway, maybe not so many now, a lot of them do stuff on computers, probably learned a lot, but he brought that to the table, and it informed his work in a way that most readers wouldn't be aware of, but it just made everything look better. He was just a wonderful artist.
So yeah, so I'll work on getting the Neil Adams tribute stuff in there as well before I post it. So as you've seen, the giveaway is open, and what I'll do is I'll give away 3 Dueling Dealers hats, and I'll put a piece of jewelry in each one of them and mail them out. Now that I know where the post office is, thank goodness Maureen found it. You can't see it from any road. It's crazy. They've got it like living out in the country in Florida is an interesting experience. I can give you that. But yeah, so I did get the prior giveaway mailed out, except Eric B never got back to me. You know, I've got to make a note of that. Eric, if you're out there, you never emailed me to let me know what your mailing address was so I could send you one when we did this the last time. So yeah, I'll draw the 3 winners later in the show, of course, and I'll do little reminders here or there so that everybody knows. But Eric, if you're out there, if you're watching this, please send me your mailing address, Eric Bellinger. So so yeah, so there was that, but it was a fun show. I did get to co-host the Hero Initiative auction, like everybody knows, but I'll tell you, Scott just ran with it. He got all the artwork in, and we had talked about him doing half and me doing half, and since he knew everything about all the pieces and why he got them and what they were for, so after about the first 8, I just leaned over and I said, Scott, just run with it. There's no point in me even trying to do this, to step in and do this, because he's going to be the one talking about every piece of art anyway. So it was fun. I kind of got to be, you know, like Scott's Sharon essentially for the show. I helped spot the bids and also handle some of the artwork. But it was as far as the Simonson piece, I think that went to a proxy bidder, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but on that one, it was one of the 2 proxy bidders that were in the front row handling any of the early proxy bids that had come in. So I think the proxy bidders, out of the 44-ish pieces that were sold, I think the proxy bidders won about 10 of them. And Paul, you got to put an exclamation point in front of the word enter if you want to enter into the competition or the competition. Yeah, giveaway. How's that? There you go. Just like that. Type exclamation point and the word enter, no space, and that's how you get entered into the giveaway that we'll do tonight. So I see Jeffrey Moy just got himself entered. Nice to see you, Jeffrey, again. And what else was significant about there? I think they raised just a little over $90,000 in those auctions. So it was definitely a good time. And Scott put all the work into that. He talked to all the artists, got the artwork, you know, wrangled in. You saw that picture of me and him talking prior to the auction. We were just kind of figuring out the order of things, and that was really the only thing he wanted my opinion on. And we had talked about it. We all said we got to do the Simonson lot first, just so everybody knew how much money they would have left over afterwards. And I think that worked pretty well. But it was fun. You know, Moy was there. He probably won 8 or 9 pieces. Anthony was there. He won a couple pieces. Jim Warden was there. First time I got to meet Jim, which was fantastic. I'm really glad to have finally met him in person. I think he won a piece. Yeah, gosh, and he got a nice one too. But yeah, overall it was pretty fun, and there was almost like a little duel going on between Anthony and Albert at one point. Between, you know, on one piece, I can't remember what it was, but they kept upping each other, and you know, just being able to look at, and Albert was in front of Anthony, and you could just see Anthony get it. He's like, if Anthony, you're out there, I could see the fun frustration on Anthony's face, but Albert was smiling ear to ear the whole time as he kept raising the bids. So it was very funny. And Peter Rowe was in the front row during that. You also saw Nick Katratis was there. I don't think Nick bid on anything, but yeah, it was just good seeing everybody. And Chuck and Tyler were actually seated behind Anthony and Sharon. Shannon Weathers was in attendance. Alex Johnson was there. I mean, there were a lot of CAF members in the audience. It was fun. It was definitely a whole lot of fun. And but yeah, I didn't get to say anything. You get to see me talk all the time here, and there Nothing. I didn't say a word. Rich Cirillo, we winked at each other. We were like, yeah, this is not the normal thing for me, but it worked out well. I mean, Scott deserved it. He worked really, really hard on that. And as everybody, if you follow the Ringo Awards, the Ringo Awards do some hero awards as well at the end of the night, and he got the 2022 Humanitarian Award from Hero just for all the extra work that he does for Hero. So it was really well deserved. He's got, he does fantastic work for IDW over the years. He's also done a lot of great work for Hero as well. So I commend him and all that, all the time that he puts into these things. And I mean, it went really well. I mean, it sounded like he was kind of interested in doing another one at some point. So yeah, you never know if it'll happen at Baltimore or someplace else. But anyway, so there you have the Baltimore recap. Except do look forward to seeing either some Neil Adams tribute edited into that video clip for tomorrow, or maybe Saturday, Sunday when I can post it. And depending on how the overall video is, there'll be a longer one out there as well. Hey, Rich. So Rich, I didn't get to do anything with your video. I did download it though, just so you know, the Neil Adams tribute, but I got it too late to really edit it. So, but it was good seeing Rich there too. I haven't seen Rich in a while, so very, very fun, and also just great to meet the Adams daughters. Had been on screen with them, I think 3 times since we started the pandemic, and yeah, it was really, really, really nice to get to see them. They were right across from Anthony's table, so it made it really easy for me to see them. It was funny. I walked that whole hall, and I still missed about a quarter of the show. There were some artists that were there that I just did not see, which I don't know how that's possible, but I was kind of disappointed. I didn't run into Frank Cho. I didn't run into Mark Schultz, and I think that they were all in the same area. So I don't know how that was possible, because I thought I walked up and down every single row there, but clearly I did not. So, in the past, I've started off, on a somber note sometimes when we have, some tragedy in the hobby, and as far as the intro video is concerned, I don't know if I want to keep doing that. It's always like starts the show off on a bad note. But if you've been following the news, we've actually lost 3 rather important artists in the last week, and one you probably heard about today, but a few others earlier in the week are also very noteworthy. And so wanted to highlight that. I didn't really make anything special slide wise, but I wanted to at least mention that this is an artist named Ned Dameron. He has done work for he was in science fiction fantasy realm. He worked for TSR at some point. He did work on Stephen King's Dark Tower, and so some of one of the iterations of that. So in the hobby, or in that hobby and genre for a very long time, there's some artwork was on CAF, so I thought I could highlight that. This was in Richard Ayer's CAF gallery. So he was an artist that was born in the early 40s, and so he'd been had a definitely a long life and a good career, but he passed away, I believe, late last week. So sometime after last week's CAF update, he went on to the other side. I don't even, what does Walt Simonson say when someone admirable pass? He always has something he always says, but he worked on this. These are some cull paperbacks. These are also on CAF, of course. This one is in what was it? Manrico Avorio's CAF gallery, and then this one was in, I always forget Ryan M. This is in Ryan M's CAF gallery. Really nice large scan of his artwork here. I thought that was great. So I think there's only like 13 paintings of his on CAF, but noteworthy artist who is no longer with us. And then next up, this one I didn't hear. I heard about this from Howard Chaykin on his Facebook page, no less. This was artist George Booth, who was most known for his work in the New Yorker. Howard's quote was, Booth is to dog drawings as Cleveland is to cat drawings. So so that's saying something. If you're familiar with Cleveland cats as well, then you can imagine. I mean, I've seen Booth's work, infrequently, not in person, but if you've seen it, you know it. I mean, it's very very stylized, and he passed away, I believe, over the weekend. So this piece of art is in Johnny C's CAF gallery. I think there were about 10 pieces of his artwork on CAF. So, which is neat to see. Illustration art is not something that we have a dearth of on CAF, but but I know that there's a fair amount of George's artwork out there in the wild. So, it'd be cool to see some more of those pieces out there. But there you go. There's one of George's dogs. And I know that I think what did I grab? Yeah, I grabbed a cover image as well. And you can see this is from 76. But if you've seen that, I mean, it's like the Budweiser dog practically, right? But yeah, great, fun artist and somebody who's clearly, he's out there in the lexicon of illustrators that have made it into the New Yorker for quite a while. And then, of course, today we heard about Danny Bulanati, of course, and long storied career in comics. I think I would say probably most notable, in Marvel, but of course he worked for DC. I think you think about his work in Micronauts, as an inker, FF, Daredevil, West Coast Avengers. I mean, there's so many titles that he worked on. Blue Beetle on DC. So just a guy, and I hear he was a great crooner as well. He was under a different name when he was out there singing. But I never got a chance to meet him. I'm sure many of you probably have, but because I'm sure he's been to shows before. He was a Filipino artist. Just pulled a couple pieces here. This is from Dino's Calf Gallery. David Mazzucchelli penciled piece that Danny inked. I mean, just gorgeous work. I mean, when I see this piece, I love the shadow of Daredevil on the building. I mean, it's just a great image. But again, Danny had an incredible career, and I highlighted this one. This is from Stephen Devich. I always forget. I know I'm going to screw it up. But from Steve's gallery. This is with Frank Springer pencils. Dazzler, of course, just a really nice piece. I think we featured this one a while back as one of our picks. And then I had to pick a Micronauts piece, and this is in Andrew Allen's Calf Gallery. Pat Broderick pencils on this one, and just great work. Solid inker. Just a great artist, and he will be missed. He's definitely going to be missed. I mean, I saw some nice tributes out there from Jesco and a few other artists that were commenting on Danny's career in comics. And so, everything. It was on the circuit today, Tariq. So yeah, fantastic artist, and again, another gentleman whose work we won't be able to appreciate anymore, but we can through collecting. So yeah, and the thing is, I always check the artist pages. We didn't have an artist page for George Booth because he just doesn't have he's only got like 7 or 8 pieces on Calf, but Danny has about 900 pages on Calf. So for those of you who like his work, I would, I'll even throw a link in here because I still had his artist page open. Throw this into the chat. During the show, after the show, I would encourage you guys to, just take a look at some of his work. Leave a few comments out there, some likes for people who have collected pieces from Danny. I mean, and like I say, there's a lot of his work on Calf, and it's always a good idea to kind of reflect on their careers. And that page defaults to showing you, I think, the most viewed or most commented artworks that's on Calf by that artist. So definitely, peruse it and be thankful that we had him in our lives. So we can move over to Calf Live now. Lots of things going on with Calf Live. Maureen and I are getting in our hectic mode here now that we have 9 days until the whole show starts. I'm still hopeful on some of the programming. We are definitely going to do our best to have the feedback system built into the whole booth process, as far as being able to leave feedback for the buyer, and then the buyer can leave feedback for you. So we're kind of got. And we may be able to make it so the buyers can leave feedback, directly, but at least initially, I think it's going to be seller leaving feedback for buyer, then buyer can leave feedback for seller. So, so we'll see. But we're working through that process right now, and a few other things too. I've got we're trying to make some headway on some really important programming that we just got a first iteration pass at today. That I just don't know if it's going to be ready. I may end up, if I experiment with anybody, it might only be in my exhibitor booth with this new programming, but we'll see. I will be able to talk about it next week to a certain degree, and hopefully I can, give you the whole skinny on everything that we've got going there. But yeah, making progress on some of that. But a couple things, as you know, we were doing the sketch opportunity. We released that to everybody last week. As just everybody in the chat got first dibs on it. Sales are great. I think we're almost up to 90 right now. My goal was to hit 100. I am going to cut the sales off on Saturday morning, and at that point, I will randomize the lists and send them out to the 4 reps so they can get them out to the artists, and that'll give them a week to get started on those sketch lists before we get to the show. And I'll put the link in the chat one more time. I'm sure you've seen the emails. I've probably sent out about 3, maybe even 4 since last week. But if you've already got one, you want to get a second one, feel free to do it. There's probably about another 24, 25 total slots that are available. So again, we're well over. I think we only sold 46 when we did it in May, and we sold out in about 4 days. So now this time we have a little over 100, and we're past the 3/4 mark on being sold out on those. So Maureen even picked one up. So we were talking about some different ideas, and so she ordered one herself. And but yeah, I think if you're interested, please, remember, most of the money goes to the artist. This whole thing was set up primarily as a way to guarantee commissions for a lot of artists. I don't feel I do the best job marketing commission opportunities during the show. I can do a much better job of that, and I know that's an area that I'd like to spend some time on, but it seems like we always kind of forget about pushing that area. I mean, but there's easy links to get to the commission and artist section, but it kind of came out of that. I remember first couple shows, the reps saying that we didn't wait a minute, can I address a rumor? Anyway, but let me finish. So anyway, so that was kind of what started the whole idea on doing the sketch thing. But how much did Musk pay me? Yeah, I'm not gonna say. But now you threw me off, Mikhail. At any rate, please, if you're interested, go ahead and do that. Again, it's putting more money into the artist's hands, which is what we really want to do with the show. Remember, Comic Art Live was born out of the idea, and really the first people I spoke to when the pandemic started were the reps, because they were the ones who I felt were going to be most impacted by the artists not being able to work. And I also thought then in turn that it was the artists who were the ones who were going to have the most difficulty when they had to put their pencils down and everything. So the reps were really the people who helped me kind of solidify the idea about doing Comic Art Live in the first place, because they were the ones, and they agreed. We all thought, wow, it's not going to implode or anything, but we're all going to see a really big downturn with the pandemic. And I talked a lot with Mark Hay about it, longtime art rep, and and he and I bounced a lot of ideas together, which really kind of became that first Comic Art Live event. I don't even think we had commission opportunities with the first show, but and at any rate, that's what we're doing it for, and a small percentage of that does come to the show as well, which is always good. So again, links in there, and I'm sure I'll send out another final reminder email tomorrow. The closer I can get to fulfilling all of those, the happier all the artists will be that have offered their time up to doing sketches during the show. Now, I don't have a slide or anything to show you, so I can just go over the panel list as it exists today, as I can talk about it. There's one slot that I asked permission to see if I could mention it, and I have not gotten a reply yet. So, and it's with Felix. So, but Saturday. So we've had these, 2 weeks ago or a week and a half ago, I didn't have anybody penciled in really for anything. And now I think I've got the biggest panel schedule I've ever had. On Saturday at 1 o'clock, Jim Shooter will start the show off. And typically we avoid the 1 o'clock hour because that is the time when the general public can get into the show and start buying and selling. But Jim was really only available early morning to very early afternoon. And so I said, well, I'd like to have him for an hour and then let him know that I want to do a 2-hour show with him sometime after the new year. And so we've got Jim, well, I wouldn't say penciled. He's inked into the first slot. So, and you actually, if you replay it, you could actually see what I wrote in the 2 o'clock. Oh, well. So the 2 o'clock is the one that I'm working out with Felix. It's for a single artist, somebody we've not had on the show before, but somebody who I've spoken with actually several times in the past, not on the channel, but in person at shows, and I would love to have them on the show. So very, very interested in that. So that would be the 2 o'clock slot. 3 o'clock will be Kevin Nolan with Scott Doonbeer. 4 and 5 on Saturday are open still, although trust me, they are going to be filled. 6 o'clock, there will be an art sale show with artist Doug Mankey, and Ken from 4C will be one of the panelists on that, doing the interview with Doug. Then at 7, and it's going to go 7 to 9, will be, and this is somebody Jiggy referred me to a long time ago. We never hooked up. And then through Ken at 4C, Ken contacted me and said, hey, Yoshi Majima would like to do a panel, and and what do you got available? And so I told him I could do 7, and I had nothing at 8. So he said, well, why don't we do 7 to 9? So Yoshi is going to be bringing Ryan Benjamin, Takumi, who I know has been on 4C before, Haji, and I don't have last names here, and Jen Sato. So those 4 artists are going to be sketching live, and they are going to, I think they're going to be bringing some pre-drawn stuff as well, and taking commission opportunities. So that'll be a 2-hour window that should just it'd be interesting. I know that Yoshi had, I think he's probably going to be doing a lot of translating, but I believe that Ken will probably be sitting in on that one as well. And so that'll be interesting. I haven't done that before. Usually that time slot is open, but then at 9 o'clock, my old faithful, tried and true Jiggy and the crew from Next Comic Art will be doing a show as well. And that we usually do that one from like 9 to 10:30, where we have about 8 artists on there with us and selling art as well. So it's it's going to be an interesting evening. We'll have several shows back to back with artists on there, and it'll be fun. And I think the commission opportunities that will happen with Yoshi's crew will be interesting. I know Ken's done a few shows with Yoshi in the past, so many of you who've seen his shows with them are familiar with the format already. So that'll be good. Then on Sunday, I have to start that day a little bit earlier too. Usually Anthony is the first panel on Sunday, but we're going to be starting off with UK artist Mark Lamming, and John Suntress from Word Balloon will be handling that one. Then at noon, Anthony will be in his regular time slot. Then who do we got? Paulo Rivera with Marquet at 1. I think it's going to be me interviewing Danny Fingeroth at 2 p.m. But I also want to do the Matt Allison at 3 p.m. from Inky Knuckles. Everybody loves Matt here, I know. So I really want to do that one. So I may see if maybe John will take Danny so I can interview Matt. We'll see. But then Ken Carson will be back for a 4 p.m. slot, probably with Greg Land. But if Greg's not there for the interview, Ken will be, he's met with Greg and will be selling some of Greg's artwork for him. So that will be at the 4 o'clock hour. And then an artist and writer, Franco, and I'll probably butcher this last name, Aureliani. I've had to look him up. He's more of a writer than an artist, but he's been doing a bit of art of late. John wanted to interview him, so he'll be doing that at 5. I've had prospective people in the 6 and 7 o'clock hours, so I've basically written myself in for the 8 p.m. slot to do the recap for the show. And of course, I kick off the show at around 12:30-ish with a welcome to the show thing. So super busy day. Literally, I think it's going to end up being like 10 hours of programming each day. Your favorite artist will not return, Marcus. Probably not. I rely on you guys for input, Marcus, and at the end of the day, the name did come up as a potential, and I've kind of said, well, until a few things get resolved, probably not. So that's I want to have people who don't who have great reputations out there on the show and representing the show and all that. And while it was it was a very popular interview, of course, probably won't have them back until you get that artwork, Marcus. So, and if it comes up, I'll always continue to mention it. Just so you know, I owe that little bit to you to try to keep that going. So Bill's going to need to switch from Coke to Red Bull. Yeah, that's probably true, Rick. But it's fun. I get pretty pumped up for that weekend, and as everybody knows, it's rough, but and I didn't get to work with Chad. If you guys remember, Chad helped out a lot in the first couple shows. He was from the Mainframe Comic-Con. And my life got really busy, as everybody knows, in the last year. So I just never reached out to Chad to help me on the last 2 shows. And here we are a week away, and I haven't reached out to have him help me this time around too. But I should see if he's free next weekend, because he was a great help to me, and I paid him to help me because he did such a good job with the panels. I mean, that's something that he started really. If it wasn't for Mainframe Comic-Con, I don't know if I would have picked StreamYard as our platform to do these shows. And yeah, I owe it all to Chad. Believe it or not, he just was instrumental in really giving me a lot of education on how to do these things, and he helped me out in those first several panels or shows, and then I helped him out on a few shows with some programming, and then yeah, things just kind of fell by the wayside, as life sometimes does. So I should make a note right here I should just call Chad tomorrow. There, I will do it. Even if you can't do it with me. So again, it's going to be busy, but I think I'll be able to talk a bit more next week. Well, so just next week on Tuesday, I do have Andy and Veronica Fish on, and we're going to talk about the art that Andy's collected over the years, but we're going to probably be previewing some of his artwork, and I think that that'll be fun. But there's some things that Andy and I have been talking about that we'll probably discuss next Tuesday, as well, as it relates to Comic Art Live and some of the features that we've been wanting to add, because he was kind of my sounding board on a lot of stuff since he's been a regular seller since we got started. And I met him at Baltimore, just literally, passing by. He didn't have a table there. I guess his son works for a comic shop or something, and so he was there helping out, and he stopped me. It's funny, you see photographs of some people, and then you see him in real life. I didn't recognize him at all. But then I realized every photograph I think I've seen with Andy Fish, he's got these dark sunglasses on. So when he's like, "Bill, it's me, it's Andy," and I'm like, "Andy who?" I didn't know. I had absolutely no idea. So Chad would be rad. Yes. But anyway, but yeah, Mikhail, back to your question. Yes, we will not be charging anything to verify people on the channel. Not like that, at any rate. I'm not going all Musk on everybody. But outside of that, yes, lots of other last minute things going on that we should be able to talk about next week. And I'll be honest, anybody who is exhibiting, as you know from I haven't done any mailings this time around, but in the past, I do send out a lot of kind of preparation emails leading up to the show. That full week, I'll probably email one email a week to people who have set up their booths and got started already, just to give them, my thoughts on how to manage your booth properly. And I'll certainly be talking about any new programming, especially as it relates to feedback, letting you know how to handle that. And especially if you do end up having any issues, we don't want people leaving neutral, negative feedback. Hopefully it's all positive. So I want to kind of keep that vibe going. And if there are problems, I'm sure we can work through anything. Can you smell what the Musk is cooking? But yeah, so expect a lot of emails from me if you're exhibiting, just so you can, so I can keep you in the loop on what I think are the best practices for the show. But here, something fun. More, I'll put this out there. Maureen wanted me to put this into the chat, and now where the heck is the link for that? We've been down here a while. I still haven't gotten my Florida driver's license, and I still have not registered my vehicles in the state of Florida. So Maureen told me that she's like, you have to have personalized plates. And I'm like, I haven't had personalized plates since before Ashton was born. I think the last one I had was like I had WWW01. That's how lame that one was. But I had that back in like 95, 96. So Maureen said, we're getting custom, personalized plates here in Florida. And she said, you should just ask everybody what they want, what they might like to have you do. And so, so I'll throw a link in here. You can tinker with it yourself. I could tell you that, let me see here. I can remove this one screen and throw this other one up here for you. Where was it? There. Because Maureen's like, she's like, you could get Thorida. She goes, it's available. And of course, so the first thing I thought of was, what's your best price, Anthony? Right? What's your best price, Anthony? Is that even available? It's available, ladies and gentlemen. What's your best price, Anthony, is available. And I have 2 cars, so I can pick and actually I'm going to let Maureen choose what we end up doing. But for those of you who want to throw ideas in the chat, you're more than welcome to throw them in there. Shoot me an email, calf chef to Dong. Yeah, Bill again. I like that, CJ. That's a good one. No, that's not going to happen, Mikhail. I talked to Tony about that too. He had a very wry grin on his face when I mentioned that he has come up with a new nickname for me. But where do you vote? We're not going to vote. Just throw your ideas in the chat. I'm sure Maureen's, well, if she's not watching, she will be watching after the fact. And again, feel free to email me as well. But oh my gosh, see Thor. Yeah, Thor would be good. No, Rich. We're off there. Claim 15 Dino. If we could get that, that could be like a CLM 15 Dino would be funny. Bill Ash. There you go, Scott. That's a good one. Oh, I love it. All right, well, keep thinking. Bricks might be available. See, Maureen's out there. She likes Florida, but Bricks Gap. All right, good. See, Maureen's taking notes right now, I'm sure. But I threw the link in there. You can verify it if you want. Everybody likes to dog. I'm not doing that one. That's going to attract the wrong kind of attention for my car. Sorry, but herpes, we're not going to put herpes in there. We know that. HD chat, yeah. Okay, we've got a lot of ideas. And BRX Gap, I mean, BRX for Bricks, I do like that. Haunches, yeah, if Anthony had his way, it would be haunches. Calf Live, yeah, I mean, you can just keep it simple, right? Well, we're down here in Florida, at least in the country where we're at, a lot of, every place has like 5, 10, 15 acres. That place across the street has like 40, but everybody has like a ranch, kind of a feel to it, right? In their fence. And so they usually have like those 2 large posts with another post across it. I want to do something on, we don't have one, but I'm going to put one out there, and I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to put something on there art related. I haven't decided that one yet either, but it's going to happen. Mjolnir, I like that one. See, Aquaman. Thank you, Scott. See, a lot of people like Florida, but remember, I got 2 cars, so we're gonna pick Maureen's 2 favorites, and we'll work something out. Calf Cola is available, Tyler. Speaking of which, yes, let's see. I've been pouring it in a glass lately, everybody. I've never had when I was in Ohio, I never got to have a refrigerator with an ice maker. So I'm taking full advantage of that. Kelly Goon, no, that's not going to work. I don't think they'd let me have that. All right. Well, the license plate options out there. You can feel free to submit ideas however you like, but I appreciate it. I knew that you guys would come up with some great ideas for us. Flips, yeah, flipping. There's there's so many things we can come up with for that. Man, look at this. Maureen, you've got your work cut out for you. I hope you're writing all these down. So I guess next week we'll announce the winners of the license plate option. Are you kidding me? Oh gosh, there's so many things, so many phrases we've coined thanks to Dueling Dealers and other shows here. There's just too many options, but I can't wait. Best offer, yeah, recap, right? We should put recap out there. All right, well, I'll let you guys keep thinking about that. It's all good. But hey, we do have another dramatic reading. And I should, for those of you who are poking around on this Florida thing, the interesting thing about this is, depending on how many characters you put in, it changes the plate type. Because with 5 characters, you get more plate options because they put like big graphics on like the left-hand side of the plate, right? So I have to kind of bear that in mind. I think if it goes over 5, it's just going to be text, no image. So I've got to kind of muck around with that. But enough of that. Enough of that. Dina likes Florida. I like Florida too. I think it's that is definitely probably at the top of the list. And DeSantis one. Break for Cake, Rich Cirillo. That is a good one. That is definitely a good one. All right, let me hide this screen. So next up, I've got another dramatic reading from Adam Law. Adam, he keeps breaking, he's doing better every single time, something new. And I had to watch this one twice. I really, really, really enjoyed this one. And I'm going to keep watching the ideas in there. I'll let Maureen focus on the ideas in the chat from now on. But yeah, this dramatic reading is another fantastic one. It's a 3-pager, actually. And it's very interesting, mixing 2 different books together to tell a single story. So a very, very interesting approach on this one. So let me go ahead and play this one. And as always, Adam, thank you. And I swear I'm going to get to one of these myself, hopefully soon. But it's, at the rate I'm going, it's going to be after Comic Art Live. But as long as Adam keeps cranking these out, or anyone else that wants to try, I heard Anthony is actually working on one, everybody. That might be available for next week. But here, let's go ahead and play Adam's dramatic reading of the week.
Today I have 3 pages. I'm going to Frankenstein these pages together, but they all pertain to the same exact storyline. This storyline is essentially the origin of Mr. Sinister. It was first done in the Further Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix. So there's this page and this one. From that series, they are drawn by John Paul Leon and inked by Klaus Janson. And then there is this one, which is drawn by Sean Chen and inked by Sean Chen for X-Men The End, which was written by Chris Claremont. These 3 pages are from different comics, different years, different storylines, but they go over the same lore that was coined in this Further Adventures of Cyclops and Phoenix. So in order to demonstrate that, I'm going to do a dramatic reading of these 3 pages. Thank you.
This is but a crude prototype I've assembled to illustrate some possible biological extrapolations. I have worked on human parts and fused these with anatomical regions of animals and other inorganic materials. Imagine the improvements on our present human form that are possible. I began with the lungs. Outrageous! I'm an abomination! Throw the madman out! But surely, science must be above such petty, conventional modes of decency. This is the future! Bong! Cowards! If our forefathers had been as timid as you, we'd still be sitting in trees, eating berries, and scratching each other's buttocks. Darwin, surely you must see the significance of my work. In 1859, a Victorian geneticist named Nathaniel Essex, who considered himself a peer of Charles Darwin, encountered a mutant who'd been born a slave in the glory days of ancient Egypt and who'd risen to become its conqueror. He called himself En-Sabah-Nur, but he was better known by a name that fitted him far better, usually spoken by his maimed and dying victims as a curse. Apocalypse! Awakening after a hibernation of millennium, he determined to lay his claim to the world of that era in Nathaniel Essex. He sought an ally who would help him achieve that goal. This is where it happens. This is where evil is born. The crux point upon which humanity's future turns. For the ancient conqueror known as Apocalypse has risen to stake his bloody claim to the modern world. And he has claimed an ally whose scientific genius will, in the fullness of time, prove to be the deciding factor in shaping the world. They are perhaps the worst villains mankind has ever known. Now, in a weird chamber dripping with alien technology, beneath the streets of mid-Victorian London, the man whom Apocalypse has tempted with dark promises cries out as his last dregs of his humanity are scorched from his soul, turning him into Sinister!
Telling you, man, Adam keeps outdoing himself every single time. So congratulations, Adam. That's another masterpiece. And you can see it just gets more and more fun the more you do. It's addictive. It really, that's when we started doing memes on Dueling Dealers, we couldn't stop. We just kept rolling. It was too much fun coming up with new ideas. So this is there is so much material to plow right here. So yes, I hope we get a few more of these. Dino did that great one last week. So those of you who are on the fence thinking about them, like I said, I'm pretty sure Anthony and Sharon are going to have one for me next week. They sent me a how about this one? How about that one? So they came up with some stuff. But yes, anyone else who would coagulation, yes, good old Anthony messing up the English language like he did last night. But yeah, anyway, thank you, Adam, as always. Well done. Wonderful, wonderful. So hey, quick news. We're about to reach another milestone here on the channel, and I don't mind. I like showing off a little bit. So we're almost at, you can see that number right there, almost at 4,000 subscribers on the channel, which is pretty cool. And I bet that probably thanks to the Comic Art Live next weekend, we always have a huge influx of people coming to sit in and watch those shows, watch the panels throughout the weekend. So my guess would be is we should eclipse the 4,000 number next weekend. So that'll be pretty awesome. And I know it's in part just all the time you guys spend hitting like and commenting on the shows here. It definitely helps out, gets the word out, and pushes us up in the rankings. And honestly, a lot of the shorts that we did is, as I was talking with Chuck Arnold when we put his flip out there, and it got like 1,000 views. I mean, those kinds of things sometimes get pushed into YouTube's homepage and things, and all the little things that we've been doing have definitely helped out. But yeah, we'll be high-fiving and celebrating when we hit the 4,000 mark. Yeah, I'm sure not only will I give away Dueling Dealers hats, and by the way, there is a giveaway tonight. Everybody hit exclamation point and enter. Don't forget that. Where was that little thing to highlight? There you go. That's how you enter into the giveaway tonight. Just do that, and you'll have an opportunity to, as you can see, we're at 45 folks have entered the giveaway so far. I'll do the giveaway before the CAF update gets started, which is probably only about 10 minutes away. So if you want to enter to get a awesome, do I have one of them out? Here, might as well show you. For those of you who haven't gotten one, and they are limited, I think I've got maybe another 15 of these or so. Here, let me hide this window. I'll just go that way. There you go. Look at that. It's an awesome Dueling Dealers of Comic Art. This was a trade, everybody. Somebody said, hey, I work at a print shop. I can get you an embroidered cap. And they wanted a premium membership. And so I said, sure, why not? I mean, and they told me they were going to give me a dozen, and they ended up sending me about 30 of these. So this is fantastic. It's really off of Sharon's original. Well, I think I did the font, and then she did the explosion. So, came out very nice. Very, very, very nice. So we got plenty more of these to give out. So I give away 3 tonight when I do the drawing in about 10 minutes. So, but the only way you can enter to win is if you type exclamation point enter in the chat. And again, there's over 90 of you here, and we only have 46 people entered. What are you waiting for? You got to do it. Come on. All right, there we go. Now they're popping in. All right, that's what I wanted to see. Yeah, there we go. There we go. All right, so let's keep this thing rolling. So after the 4,000 subs, what did I want to talk about? You know what? What I want to give well, I'm not giving anything away, but here I want to play Nick's EXP preview for tomorrow, and then I'll do the Heritage preview. As you know, Nick Barucci is he's got the EXP channel. He has the Original Art Experience every Friday at 7 o'clock, 7 to 8. And he also, I think, appears on a few other shows here or there during the week to sell stuff. But the primary show is Friday nights at 7 o'clock. And it's always fun. And he always sends me a really awesome preview to show off so that you guys get a taste of what he'll be bringing to the show tomorrow. And I know there's a very special piece he's bringing tomorrow, too. So let me go ahead and play the promo for the EXP's Original Art Experience with Nick Barucci tomorrow at 7.
Hey everybody, this Friday, November 4th, may comic art be with you. I was playing on the whole may the 4th be with you. But if I was going to do that right, I'd have Star Wars. Gosh darn it, can't even get that right. All right, so, and yes, there is something special in my hand. So I'm going to move my hands, keep your attention. Amy's shaking her head, move it forward. All right, so this Friday, November 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Original Art Experience, we are going to have Avengers number 7, page 6 by John Romita Jr. and Tom Palmer. We are going to have Dale Eaglesham. God, I can't believe I got that wrong. This is a 2-page spread, and it is gorgeous. Then Kang is coming, and we have an Avengers, I believe, issue 50 page by Kieran Dwyer. We also have Iron Man DOS by Sean Chen. And we have Black Panther number 60 by Patrick Zircher, and I think this is the first time we've ever had art by Patrick Zircher. Plus, we have our commission cover art by our buddy Jeffrey with Mariano. Then we have Joe Del Beato with Mariano, and I love the Ditko eyes and the Ditko Aunt May. And we have Carnage. But the creme de la creme, the big one. This is gorgeous. All-Star Squadron number 11 cover by Joe Kubert. I remember buying this book off the stands. This is a gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous cover. So this Friday, November 4th, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Original Art Experience. Hit that thumbs up. And just a quick thing, on the 11th, we are going to have our biggest show ever. We are going to have the first appearance of Shuri, the second appearance of Shuri, Black Panther issue 1 by Reggie Hudlin, John Romita Jr. that was used for the BET TV series, and a percentage of those sales is going to go to charity, which we'll talk about further this Friday the 4th. So hopefully I'll see you Friday the 4th, and we'll talk about the 11th as well. Have a great one.
See, we love that music. It's a good rhythm. Thank you for doing that, Nick. So yes, tomorrow's show, always a good one. And as you saw, there's one special piece of artwork. You never know what that'll be in the end. And Nick did not. Nick was in Baltimore last week. That's why he did not have a show on Friday last week, and deservedly so. We were having dinner together, and it was wonderful. Thank you for doing that, Nick. I'm glad we finally got to meet. Everybody saw we did the thumbs up together. So, and speaking of thumbs up, I think somebody mentioned there's 90 plus people here watching the show, and we only have like 50 thumbs up so far. So come on, hit them. We can use all the thumbs up we can get, and of course, comments after the show are always appreciated too. And as you can see, we're almost ready to choose winners on the hat giveaway. So if you want to be entered, exclamation point and an enter. We're up to 55 people submitted already. So again, there's 40 other people out there that don't want a free Dueling Dealers hat. Come on. Really? So, all right, let me move right along, do the heritage picks. This week was much better and easier for me to do than last week. There was more art that I liked than I probably should have, because I even threw some bids out there. Maureen probably shouldn't know, but I didn't bid on too many expensive things, but I did bid on a few pieces. I don't think I bid on any of the ones I'm showing tonight. So first up, this is a Daredevil 152 page art by Carmen Infantino and Claus Jansen. So, I mean, it's fun, you look at this and, Claus's inks, carrying over with Miller and everything, but he does a pretty decent job on Infantino here. And I remember not really liking Infantino's Daredevil when it was coming out. It was one of the books that I was reading like off and on. If it had a good cover, I bought it. But I look at the work now and I really actually like it. I mean, I love these first two panels. I mean, definitely, that second panel is really awesome. So this was an easy pick for me, nostalgic, but at the same time, Infantino and Jansen, nice combo here with Daredevil. Then I've got two John Romita Seniors I picked because how often do you really see John Romita Senior on something other than Spidey related material, right? But these are two FF pages, and so this one's from issue 103, and I mean, it's just really, really great. It's got John Verporten inks on it from FF 103. This is just a really nice page. And it's funny, you can see he's like kind of giving it a bit of a Kirby feel and the way he's doing the pencils, but still very fun page here. That first panel is awesome. And you get Crystal in it too. So then the other one was an end page. It's got the Thing on it too. Mr. Snork, if you're out there. And Jeff Wedding, I saw you in the chat. I mean, I totally forgot that when when Nick's thing was playing. But nice to see. I feel like I haven't seen Jeff in the chat in a while. You must be traveling for work or something. But it's nice to see you again. We definitely should talk. We need to do another Cafe University sometime. So this is John Romita Sr. from issue 106 of Fantastic Four. Again, I mean, that first panel, totally awesome. Great cityscape there. But then look right here, A Time for Tragedy. Can he survive the final change? So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot. It's a really nice page too. So, I mean, really, odd to see two John Romita Sr. FF pages in the same auction, Heritage Weekly. Then again, this is a J. Scott Campbell Gen 13 page. I mean, again, we've got the fans of Gen 13 out there and J. Scott Campbell. So I think this was probably the priciest lot in the auction after the first day. So and actually, it's not even 24 hours old yet. And I think this was, well, see, it was already at 1,050. And it's still at 1,050, so it still is probably the priciest one out there. But I'll tell you, when I sent that email out earlier, this is the auction, just in a text description, that got the most clicks. She-Hulk, Gabrielle Delato. I don't know what those two keywords together mean, but when I sent out my promo email earlier, I just happened to check the report, something I never do, and this was like 3 hours after I'd sent the mailing. The link to this auction had I think like 12 clicks on it. And the next closest link on the email that went out probably had like 5. So, and it wasn't a heritage auction either. So it was just weird to see that this one, and it's a great piece of art, but those keywords combined for the most clicked item on the mailing, within hours after sending it. But yeah, and I think it said something like it's a portfolio piece or something. I don't know, but I was definitely tempted by the link. See, okay, it's just, you put Delato together with She-Hulk, and this is just a great image. I mean, I like it. Shoot, I'm not going to be able to afford it, I'm sure, where it ends up, but very nice piece of art there. And so I don't want to ignore DC, so I did pick a Gary Frank Supergirl issue 1 page from '96. Just if you kind of pull back here, I like the way these 4 panels at the bottom of the page are laid out, along with I'm not quite sure what the gray, that black in the background is, flames or something, but it's just, as far as a visual look, I really love that bottom 2/3 of this page. So, and I really enjoy Gary Frank's work in general, and Cam Smith inks on this one. So very nice page there. See, I gave DC a little bit of love. I think, did I pick something else from DC? I'm not sure, but I couldn't not pick this amazing Don Heck, Mike Esposito Avengers 111 page. I mean, oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know what Daredevil's doing there, but you got Marvel Girl, you got Scarlet Witch, you got Black Widow, you got Magneto. Do we got anybody else special in here? I don't know. But oh, you got Vision there at the end. So no, it's not Vision. That's Magneto from the back. So, yeah, they're not colored. I can't tell. I thought it was Vision. It kind of looks like Vision in his cloak, doesn't it? But anyway, look at that. I love this page. This is a very, very cool page. And look the way Magneto's drawn here. He's just he's maniacal. So yeah, at any rate, a very good page indeed, and one that I'm certain I won't be able to afford, so I'm not even going to put a thrill bid on that one. Then there's actually several, for you Michael Golden fans out there. I think there's like 5 or 6 Michael Golden pages in here, and I think they're all DC as well, and at least 2 other Batman pages. This is P. Craig Russell inks, so very interesting combo between Michael Golden and P. Craig Russell, but from Batman Family, just classic period for Golden. For sure. And this page doesn't have a lot of Batman on it. I think 2 of the other pages had more Batman, but I love that first and second panel. So just, hey, if you want a nice period Golden piece inked by Russell, which is, again, an odd pairing, I think here's that. And definitely, if you go there over to Heritage, search on Michael Golden, because there's at least 4 other Michael Golden pieces, DC-wise, in this set. So I wanted to get away from Marvel and DC on this one. But it's Jim Starlin and Alfredo Alcala, and it's a Vampirella page. I just really love that. Alcala is just a fantastic inker, all the time. So seeing him inking Starlin, I mean, this first panel, I don't care that there's no characters on it at all. I just loved it. I was sold on the first panel. I just think that is such a gorgeous image and indicative of Alfredo's inks. That, I mean, it's just gorgeous. Look at all the the tonal variations on this. He could have just gone with a flat dark on here, but instead he's by weighting the lines differently, and also just the level of the tone in the line quality. I mean, it's amazing, absolutely amazing. And then I just love that the little circular panel there. I thought that was nice. It breaks up this thinner middle panel with the more of a half, kind of like a half splash there at the bottom. But again, all great stuff. I didn't even bother reading it. Cynthia Deer, I don't know, it's probably one of those weird inserted stories into Vampirella, but a really, really nice example. And I picked up a piece of art from Anthony today, for, a 2000 AD page that I don't even know what it's from, but by Roach, and I just loved it. It had no, Dread's not on it, but it was just a really nice example from 2000 AD. So I look at something like this, and it's the same kind of feel. I mean, this is a really nice work of art. And then the final piece, I mean, I could have picked, I would have probably picked this, and I actually did bid on this one, didn't I? Yeah, my secret maximum bid of $12 has been outbid. I bid on it. I was the first bidder on this one. So this one is from Micronauts 37, and I picked it because of Danny Bulanadi, from inking this piece, art by Keith Giffen. This has Micronauts and an X-Men crossover. Look, you get Nightcrawler in it, so that first panel, super, super cool. And I mean, just the whole thing was really nice. And you get Micronauts and Nightcrawler in there. He's bamfing in a couple spots. The second to last panel, really nice, like bugs flipped over there at the bottom. Just a fun page. I've never owned any artwork by Micronauts, read a lot of it as a kid, had some of the toys even back in the day. But yeah, this is a nice page. And like I said, when I saw Danny's name on it, I just said, well, this is one that I want to feature, because I think it was the only piece in Heritage Auctions that had Danny's inks on it. So the one issue Keith Giffen, that's what I thought too, Rich. I thought he only had he only did one, but yeah, it's a good one because you get the X-Men crossover in it. So there you have it. All right, that concludes my Heritage picks for the week. So there you go. As you see, I'm going to draw the winner of the hat. I've got three of them, 3 hats, and I'm going to put a piece of Marvel superhero jewelry in with the hat when I send it. Sorry to those of you who got a hat earlier and didn't get the jewelry, but it is what it is. You might have a chance. And I did, just so everybody knows, I was able to remember Tyler. I told people I'd found a Comics Code paste on that. I found it. I don't even know where it was, like in one of my bookshelf or something when I was packing up the house. And then I thought I lost it, but I mentioned it on the show, and Tyler said he wanted it. So I actually found it, and I mailed it to him. So he said he's going to put it in his calf gallery. I don't know if he has yet or not. Tyler, I don't know. I think I saw you in the chat. Let us know if you've managed to put that little piece of history into your calf gallery, because it'd be fine if you did. But let's get this thing drawn here. So, I'll give you 20 seconds. I'm seeing a few more pop in here, but exclamation point, enter, will get you into the drawing for a Dueling Dealers hat and a piece of Marvel jewelry. And I'll give you 5 more seconds, and then we pick 3 winners tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and hide that banner. We don't need it anymore. And all right, let's see. Let's go ahead and pick one winner here. It's doing its thing. And let's see. Got that around. And Octavio D has won one of the Dueling Dealers of Comic Art hats and jewelry. So let's go ahead and get the next one here. Larry, Larry's our guest, selector today too. Larry has now won the second one. So very, very cool. Congrats to Larry on that one. I don't know how that's possible, but it happened. And then let's do one more here, because maybe I'll do 4. We'll do 4 tonight. How's that? So let's see. Next one, the fix is in. Yeah, that's what it feels like. Chuck Arnold has gotten one too, and I'm going to do a 4th. Why not? Right? Let's go all out. And then when we do the get to 4,000 subs, we'll do something special that night too. So here, we'll pick a 4th one. I said we'd do 3. We'll do 4. And Chris Lutz. All right. So Octavio D, Chris Lutz, Larry Tan, and Chuck Arnold are all winners of a Dueling Dealers hat and a piece of Marvel jewelry. And if you saw a piece of Marvel jewelry that you like, feel free. Well, you got it. All 4 of you have to shoot me an email with your mailing address. So, like I said, I think I told you all the things that I had jewelry wise. Spider-Man ring. There's actually an X-Men ring, but it's just an X. It's like to me, it's the lamest thing in the whole set. There's the Apocalypse. There is a Sabretooth necklace and Silver Surfer ring and Fantastic Four ring and a Fantastic Four necklace. So if you want to pick what piece of Marvel jewelry you get, you can let me know when you send me your mailing address. But please send me your mailing address. And Eric B., if you're watching this later, please send me your mailing address, because you won a hat about a month ago, and I never heard from you, and I kept forgetting to email you and ask you. So congratulations to all 4 of our winners this evening. So now we can get on to the CAF update. Let me try to rock and roll my way into that now that we've got no underdog ring. Sorry, Rich. Nope, it's straight Marvel, man. It's all it was Marvel. All right, let me switch gears here a little bit and get my CAF update stuff here, because I've got way too many windows again. How do I manage to do this every single week? But let me highlight that, pull that out of the way. And there it is. Yeah, I knew I hit it. All right, so CAF update time. Busy week again for dealers. By the way, I don't know where they're. Well, I know what it is. We'll talk about it when we get to them. But so this is for the week of October 24th through the 30th, and again, very very big week for dealers. This might be one of the bigger weeks of the entire year for dealers, and part of that, of course, was Felix. He had his New York Felix Con happened last week, and we talked about that a bit when it happened. But after I did the changes that I did, there were no problems. So I think I might have fixed the Felix website problem. We'll see the next time he does a gigantic sketch art drop like he's done in the past, but we'll see. But 2 dealers that of note. One was Felix. He did just under $150,000 in sales with 122 sales, there, because again, a lot of that was that sketch art sale that he did on Wednesday. But Ramita Man was the #1 seller. 7 sales, $280,000 in sales. And remember, Mike had like a big week last week, and I think he's actually having a really big week this week too, because I don't quite understand what's going on, but he's closing sales on a lot of big cover things. So maybe he's had some things out there on time payments or whatnot, but they all seem to be closing at the same time. So after those 2, panel page, Glenn, he had 51,000 in sales. Will had almost 40,000 in sales. Albert had just over 30,000 in sales. Anthony had 30,000 in sales, and Scott Eater, he came in last of those over 10,000 with almost $15,000 in sales as well. So you had a lot of guys selling a fair amount of artwork. But now with regards to the top 6 sales, again, Berkey's gonna, he's kind of leading the pack here with these large cover sales that he did. So, total sales for that week, $613,000, up from $493 the week before and $550 the week before that. So this first artwork is by Rich Buckler and Joe Sinnott. It's the cover to Avengers 113. I think you got this on Comic Link about 8 months ago. This one sold for $150,000 as the asking price by Mike. Then next up, this House of Secrets 100 cover from 1972. Classic. Bernie writes an image, of course. This one had the asking price of $125,000. Then Will is actually next on here with this Batman Family 13 cover by Jim Aparo. Asking price on this one was $25,000. Then we've got Glenn on the next pair. First up is this Journey into Mystery 118 page by Kirby. And yeah, is it Coletta? I'm not even sure. Is it who the inker would be on that one? But very nice early Kirby Thor page there, Journey to Mystery 118. Then this is again by Glenn, Simone Bianchi, Detective Comics 839 cover. Asking price on this one was $15,000. And finally, this was I believe we all saw this when Felix did one of his shows. He unveiled this one on Facebook as well. This is the Jeff Shaw Hulk versus Thor, kind of through the ages. It was was 1 through 6 interlocking covers sold together for the asking price of $15,000. So definitely, I thought when he had posted on Facebook, it sounded like maybe he was thinking of breaking it up. And I'm glad. I don't know if that was true or not, but just the way he wrote his approach or I can't even remember what he said, but I remember it sounded like he was going to break it up. And I'm glad he didn't. So somebody's the lucky owner of all 6 of those. Oh, Dino says Berkey's building a war chest for Heritage. And that's probably true because, I think Berkey had about 250 in sales the week before. And I was kind of monitoring the sales the first part of the week. And I know that he had another big cover sale as well, too. So, yeah, he probably is definitely building up a war chest for the next Heritage auction that I really haven't even previewed. I mean, has it even started? I don't feel like I've gotten. Usually they send me an email with a file to download to import into CAF. I don't even think I've gotten that yet. I'll have to double check that out. But at any rate, so next up, of course, are the auction results. And so, sorry, I'm just looking at my email. Andrew Allen emailed me about Danny's passing. I'll have to read that later. But let's see. So auction results. Average week, $610,000 from eBay and Heritage. No special Heritage auctions this week. As we know, they had a couple the week prior with Harlan Ellison auction being one of them. But so they had reached $987,000 the week prior, but in the period we're talking about, $610,000 between eBay and Heritage. I remember I didn't think Heritage was going to have a good week, but they still did 131,000 in sales, almost 132 of that, and so they had overall a pretty decent week. So let me go ahead and show you the top 3 eBay sales and then the top 3 Heritage weekly sales here. A lot of people were following this one. This was the first of the 2 Sienkiewicz covers that was sold by the same seller. The other one, of course, was the New Mutants cover, which I'm sure we're going to see next week. This one was the Beauty and the Beast cover, issue 2, sold for $14,300. And, that's about where I thought it would go at. It's, not from a very memorable series, but a great piece by Bill. Next up, this Kirby Mr. Miracle 15 page. Asking price was $5,999, sold for $4,500 with a make offer. And finally, this Plug piece from Marvel Spotlight 6, and title page, I believe, was sold at $3,150. So not too bad. Then your 3 Heritage results. This first one was from Bruno Premiani, Doom Patrol 96, page 22, sold for $10,200. Next up is a piece I featured. I mean, this was an easy one. George Tuska, Pablo Marcos, Avengers 163 page, sold for $7,800. Yeah, man, that's an awesome page. And I featured this one as well. Howard Chaykin, the Shadow number 4 DPS, sold for $7,200. Just a great example by Howard. I mean, I never was a big fan of the Shadow, but shoot, that artwork is, that thing is gorgeous. So yeah, and a gorgeous human being is Howard Chaykin, right, Nick? He's great, even if he didn't go to dinner with us, unfortunately. So hey, the lucky winner of one of our Dueling Dealers hats happens to be my guest selector today. So let me bring Larry into the studio. Mike, your mic is muted.
Oh, I can fix it.
There we go. How's it going, Larry?
Hey, Bill.
Congratulations.
Oh, thank you.
Who would have guessed?
I didn't even know it came with jewelry, so I'm looking forward to seeing what I get.
Well, so you're not going to tell me what. You're just it'll be random. I can put anything I want in there.
Oh, okay. All right.
Galactoon says, yeah, there you go. Yes, exactly. Larry arrives. Yes. Well, see, Larry, you're pretty popular. I mean,
I know a couple people. Well, you fly out to a couple of meetups, and then you meet a couple people. I hear there's going to be one in Charlotte soon, and I've already talked to some DC folks, and we're looking at one in early December. So there's going to be a couple of meetups coming up soon.
Well, I don't think I'm going to be able to do any meetups for the remainder of the year, but that sounds fun. Take pictures, Larry, if they're allowed.
Yeah, I know some folks who are going down to Charlotte, so I'm not committed yet, but maybe. I don't. It's hard for me to turn down meetups,
I agree. Well, as long as you can, you work from home, Larry. I mean, I know you're in the IT world.
I work 4 days a week from home.
But it's all from home, so you can pretty much be anywhere and you can take care of work.
Yeah, yep.
Wow.
Yeah. Some weeks, I mean, if I have something going on, I could do all 5 days at home. But sometimes I need to get out, so one day a week is not bad.
And you had a good time at Baltimore. Rich, because I just was reminded, I forgot. You helped out Rich with an Alan Davis stuff, and you were managing the line, and you're helping Alan during the show. So
no. So my friend Paul Greer, he's sort of the official rep, but managing the crowd at Alan Davis is a 2-man job. So Paul, he does the job that I don't envy is being the traffic cop, because there are hundreds of folks in front of his line. That was years ago. Alan Davis was at Heroes Con, and as soon as the doors opened, he had like 300 people in front of his table. So that's not so bad as it is for the folks who are has a table that's next to Alan Davis. So poor Mike McCone, you couldn't see his table because he had the Alan Davis crowd in front of him.
Oh my gosh.
So we had to move some folks to another wall, and that's what we've been doing every time that Alan Davis comes out to a con. We've been pushing the line to a nearby wall. Originally, Baltimore actually had Alan Davis like near the front of the con with around a bunch of other artists, but we talked to them and we were able to find them in an aisle row, which helped out a lot.
Well, that's good. I didn't see what happened on Friday, but when I walked by on Saturday, I saw that long line against the wall, and
Right.
I'm glad that I didn't need to get anything signed, or that was in a buying mode, because I could see the wait there, but it seemed like everybody was pretty happy with what they got. Alex, talked with Alex, saw Rich. Things seem to go pretty well.
Yeah. This time we bought a bunch of prelims. Well, he brought stuff that he had in Como, but this time he also brought a bunch of prelims, and we had that as an option in case folks couldn't get in line for a sketch. So a sketch was $200 for a head sketch, but a really tight 8.5 by 11 prelim was about $300 to $400. So we would try to give options for folks who are not able to get a sketch or are able to afford like a $4,000 cover. So
that's a good deal. I mean, how when I walk by, every time Alan had his head down, but I know he's kind of a very outgoing guy and likes to crack jokes. So I assume was he pretty jovial throughout the weekend?
Yeah. He's also pretty exhausted after each day. He's doing he does 2 sessions. So when the morning the line starts up, he takes about 12 to 15 requests. And then he takes a lunch break, which could be half an hour or an hour. And then after lunch break, he does like about another 8 to 10.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, during the convention, he does about 60 sketches. And he's always done this whenever he's like even when it was cheaper. But a portion of that money goes to Heroes Initiative. So
that's nice.
So it's $200 for a head sketch, but $50 of that goes to Heroes Initiative. And all the money that comes from the autograph donations, all of that goes to Heroes Initiative. So he makes several thousands of dollars for Heroes Initiative every time he goes to a con.
Well, that's awesome. A Hero did pretty well that weekend in Baltimore with the auction, and I saw a lot of the donation jars around the hall too. So, and they seem to be doing well. But that's great. I saw Alan also did the Neil Adams tribute panel too, right?
Yes, he did. Unfortunately, I didn't have time to go visit it, but he did. He's a good friend of the Neil Adams family, and they even gifted him with original art. So at some point, they found an Alan Davis original of Excalibur, and Neil Adams blue line inked it, and they gifted that to Alan.
Dang, that's
Alan
awesome.
Alan was very happy. That was probably one of the highlights of the con, was to receive an Excalibur that was of his art inked by Neil Adams.
Wow, that's really cool. Well, Rich Cirillo did record the whole panel, and I got it right before the show, so I haven't seen it yet. But if the video's good and Rich says it's great, I'll probably post the whole panel. My guess it'll be Sunday because of just with the way my schedule is. But I'm interested to see it too. So you'll get to see it.
Oh, great! Rich, did you happen to also record the Tom Palmer tribute?
He gave me that. He didn't record the whole thing.
Oh, okay.
Only a couple quotes from Walt Simonson. So,
okay.
But I have to look and see, because I kind of put the one main quote in there where he was talking about Tom as an artist and what he felt about him. But there wasn't. There was just a couple different segments that I don't know. We'll see. I might be able to stitch those together. But the Neil Adams one, he said he filmed complete. It's 51 minutes long.
So, what did you like about? What did you think about Baltimore? This is your first time there.
You know, well, I don't know. In a weird way, I kind of felt like the show was going to be a little bigger.
Hmm.
The hall size it was okay. It was definitely manageable. You know, you could see most of the show in
Right.
a day.
Hmm.
It wasn't super crowded on Saturday, which I was worried about since that was the only day I was going to be there.
Right.
But you know, again, had a pretty decent lineup of artists, and you know, everything was convenient. The hotels were, you know, right there. You didn't have to walk anywhere really.
Right.
You know, so I thought that was nice. And you know, with the Ringo Awards, I think that's a nice addition to have at the show because it brings in a lot of creators who may not travel there otherwise. And then well, and I didn't get to go to it, unfortunately, but I was going to try, but it just didn't work out. But other than that, no, I thought it was a really, really good show. I thought, you know, I enjoyed it. Would I go again next year? I don't know. I mean, maybe depends on who the lineup is, but I wouldn't mind going every other year, certainly, because it was fun. And again, I mean, that list of people that I've already thrown on the floor, I mean, the majority of those people I hadn't met before. So it was a lot of first time people that, you know, at that show. So for just the opportunity to hang out with a lot of calf collectors who I, you know, had never met, like Nick, Barucci, Jim Warden, I had never met before.
That's right.
You know, I mean, so yeah, it was, you know, Ron Shepard, it was there, Aiden Lacey. I think I met Aiden once before, but so it was just cool. It's cool getting to see all these people that, that, you know, it's felt like heroes in that way for me.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you meet Alex Johnson?
I did. Yeah. Actually,
Okay.
I talked to Alex right in front of Alan's booth. That
Right.
was
Right.
that was where I first ran into Alex because I think he was waiting. I can't remember what he was picking up something from Alan, but
Oh yeah, he was in line for a commission.
that's what it was. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
waiting for the commission spot,
Yeah.
but he was also at the auction too.
Yeah, I joked with Alex and his wife that Alex decided to come to Baltimore so he could wait at the two longest line. He decided to find the two longest line and waited Walt's line and then Alex's line the next day. So, yeah, Alex. Yeah, I took so Alex, we ran into him. I believe it was Sunday night. Him and his wife, and so when you're in Baltimore, I tell them, you know, the crab cakes are amazing in Baltimore. So so I invited him to dinner, and then you know, we took it like a 15-minute drive out to his place, and he got to enjoy some nice Baltimore area or Maryland crab cakes. So if you guys ever go to Baltimore, you got to find those crab cakes.
Well, that was, you know, we went to dinner on Friday night, and we went to Morton's where I should get a steak. Right. I got crab cakes because I was like, well, I can have a steak anytime, but I'm in Baltimore. I should probably see what this whole thing is about. And it was pretty good. I was impressed. It's not like a Red Lobster crab cake.
No, yeah.
I know. I was trying to describe it to Maureen because she's like, you know, she's like, it's gonna be full of breading, and I'm like, no, it was not like that at all. So yes, she didn't believe me, but I should have taken a picture of it because it was incredible. But so I'm glad I did that. But yeah, it was a good show. I mean, it was, everything was so convenient. You know, you go up to the bar and I couldn't believe it. It was like everybody was there at the Sheraton. You know, I mean, that's where I ran into Albert, and you know, John Cassaday was there. I got to talk with him for a while. That's where I first met Chaikin. Jerry Ordway was there. You know, I mean, Nick was there. That's where I bumped into Tim Guerrero only for a second and then never saw him again. But yeah, it was, you know, there wasn't a moment where you couldn't have been hanging around friends, right? I mean, it was just, that's what that show felt like.
Yeah. That's the first time I met Tim, because obviously he came from El Salvador. So it was great meeting him. And actually, when Alan Davis, because I'm monitoring everybody, giving donations and getting the autographs. Alan had folks from the Netherlands. He had a couple of folks from Spain. So he had a couple of folks from all over the world who flew in and came to Baltimore. So that was really interesting. Some gave gifts to Alan too. So.
Oh wow. Yeah,
I didn't know there was going to be that big of an international crowd that came into Baltimore. That was interesting.
You didn't. I saw Rich Danny was joking about it. You didn't tell him that I've never read Excalibur, did you?
No, I did not.
Thank you. Yeah, that I'm glad I didn't introduce myself to Alan. I know, I've seen him so many times, but he's always so in demand. I've always kind of felt like it's better to just leave him alone than to say hi or anything. So one of these shows, I'll get to say hi to him. But hey, I saw Eric Bellinger's in the chat. Eric, please send me your mailing address. You won a hat like a month ago and never emailed me. So you know what? Email me, bill@comicartfans.com, and let me know what your mailing address is so I can send you that Dueling Dealers hat that you won a month ago.
Right.
Oh, all man. Right. Wait, the chat's in here. Like the Sex Fine Biz, whatever. I got to block them. There we go. All right. See, we have a nice civil show. You know, I had a talk with Anthony. Okay, what did I say in the chat or after the show last night? I said, Anthony, we got to cut some of that talk out. This is we want to have a family oriented show, even on Dueling Dealers. So we don't need all the extra little innuendos that Anthony likes to drop, because he's trying to be Anthony, but I told him let's trim some of that out of the show just to kind of keep it a little more civil. So hopefully he does that. He doesn't always listen to me.
Yeah, we're having a good show whenever the sex box come out. Yeah.
Exactly. That's don't say that word again, or it's going to happen. It's almost like a curse. You say it, or you show a picture of any kind of a topless woman in the artwork, and the next thing you know, the webcam bots are out. Oh, it was the crab cakes, says Scott. Oh boy. Yeah, Larry brings the fembots out. Marcus says we're lonely men. I know that, Marcus. That's for a different channel. It's not for my channel. It could be anybody else can do it. Let Anthony say what he wants to say on his channel. On my channel,
Yeah, we do need more females in the hobby, so yeah.
Right. Well, you always hear that too. I mean, I don't want to get onto that as a topic, but you do hear that a lot. It's like, that's why we don't see, that there's definitely a lot of female collectors out there, but we don't see them here. We don't see them on CAF, and I'm sure there's good reason for that. So we got a lot of art to talk about.
All right. Hey, before we start, I just want to say, I heard the news about Danny Bulandani passed away early today. So rest in peace. He did a great job with Micronauts and Captain America. So he will be missed. So just want to say a shout out to him.
Yeah, no, without question. I was a little surprised as well. I mean, I think a lot of people were. I mean, this has been a bad year. Really, I was thinking I've got to kind of I want to kind of look back, I think, at the beginning of next year, how awful this whole entire year kind of has been. I mean, we came out of the pandemic thinking we had it made, and it's just been one kind of tragedy after another. And not tragedy, but you just thought things were going to be so much better, and it really hasn't felt that way throughout the course of this year. With Neil passing, Tom Palmer, Tim Sale, George Perez. I mean, it's just one great loss after another this entire year. So yep. But yeah, let's talk about art. That always cheers everybody up. Let's see here. Let me resize the screen a little bit.
Oh, yeah. So I mean, all of it. I'm not the biggest Paul Pope fan, but I will say this is one of the best commissions I've ever seen Paul draw. And as Lone Wolf and the Cub. I know it's a pretty popular series amongst folks. I read a couple of the books years ago. I need to pick it back up and restart reading the whole thing.
Same here.
But really great Paul Pulp art. I mean, they're exquisite. So I really loved this when I saw it.
Yeah, what Rich just said there too. Very controlled. That was at first I didn't realize it was Paul Pope when I pulled up the image, because it just didn't. I see the face. You can see it there, but it is so tight that it's really nice to see. So I'm pretty impressed by this one. And this one was in Jason K's CAF gallery, and I picked a piece by Jason too. I was gonna take it out just because I don't want to have two pieces from the same person, but I left mine in. But yeah, this is a good one, and very nicely done. Still got lots of pencil in there too. That's kind of nice to see left in there. But
what's the size of it? I think it's fairly large. I've seen him do some really large commissions.
Yeah, well, he usually I know his published stuff. There you go, 19 by 24.
Yeah, so it's pretty large. So
yeah,
Jason's a very lucky guy, and maybe he has that on his wall. But that looks fantastic.
Yeah, If it's
Yeah.
not on his wall, it should be.
Yeah, Lone Wolf and the Cub. I mean, I know my friend Daryl, he's a fan of that series as well too. I've seen some great commissions of this series. Um, it's not a series that everybody knows of, but I've seen some artists just really knock out those commissions whenever someone requests them. So
Right.
I hope that encourages other people to ask for Lone Wolf and the Cub, because I love seeing commissions like these.
I think we featured one by Daniel Warren Johnson once before.
Yeah,
Which
yeah,
is
he
not a
probably knocked
surprise.
it out too.
Yeah. So then we've got this Eduardo Rizzo piece, and now is this okay? This was more of a commission, right? I think. And who? Oh, wait a minute. Whose Kafka art was this? Oh, Eric. Why do I?
Yeah.
I always forget. I see the big picture up the top, and I always forget that's Eric. But nicely done by Mr. Rizzo.
Yeah, yeah, you don't see too many modern pieces in Eric's collection. But I'm a Rizzo fan, and I don't know if this is Walking Dead. I don't know what the person requested, but I think Rizzo just nailed this one. This just looks fantastic. I'm not sure what's going on, who this kid is, or is he fighting off the zombie? It looks like a water gun.
Yeah.
But this Rizzo, I'm a big Rizzo fan, and I thought this was fantastic.
Yeah, I'd only read part of what Eric wrote in his description, but he was very complimentary of Rizzo, feeling like he's one of the best as far as like pen and ink, black and white, as far as the way they lay their ink down, artists that are out there today. And it's hard to argue with that. I mean, his work is so striking and unique. And I mean, you see a piece like this, and yeah, those zombies are pretty incredible. I mean, just the contours that he's put in the faces. I mean, stuff like other artists might just avoid. Rizzo goes in and just goes for it. And it's just fantastic. I mean, Eric is absolutely right in that. But he talked about really always admiring what Rizzo was working on. So I don't know the theme on it either. As far as the child with the water gun, you'd think the water gun would have like holy water in it, but that doesn't help you with zombies. So yeah, not sure what the path is there.
Yeah, look at those teeth. And the contrast with the kid and the black. I mean, if I had a chance to get a Rizzo commission, I mean, zombies doesn't come to mind, but geez, I mean, maybe I have to consider that if I ever have an opportunity to get Rizzo commission. I mean, these zombies look great.
I agree. Brett, could I hang this one? Probably not. Maybe at Halloween, Maureen would let me. But that would be the only time. But this is Eric has an incredible collection for those of you who've not spent any time in there, but I'm sure everybody has. Eric's a big Art Adams fan. So we've got an Alan Davis.
Yes. So I actually saw this one in person. And this one belongs to Hector. I know Hector was excited to receive this, and I know Alan is a big Conan fan as well too. And so I guess someone asked Alan Davis to go loose on Conan, and this is just fantastic. The line work. This is also inked by Alan. It's not inked by Mark Farmer. And I think the request was just Conan in a throne, and Alan just went all out and added all these characters in the bottom and the axe. I mean, this is just incredible.
Yeah, I mean, it's great. What size was this?
This was 11 by 17.
Wow. Now then that's really, really impressive. Gosh.
Yeah.
Wow.
So if anybody gets an opportunity to get on Alan Davis's list, ask for Conan, you'll likely get something great.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic. Let me see. Art. Oh yeah. Well, so stoked to add this to my collection. Much thanks for helping, for the helping hand by Paul.
Yeah.
All right. Well, congrats. That is a good one. That's a keeper.
Yeah.
And now we're switching over to our gentleman who's always in the chat, Alberto Gonzalez, with this awesome Zach Beatty cover from Cap 277.
Yeah, I'm just really jealous of Alberto. He found like it was. I think he only has two. He has two other Zach Captain Americas. I mean, it's great just to get one. Now he has three of them. I'm really jealous. But he has his focus, and You know, he doesn't have to bother spending any money on Spider-Man and all these other. He does get non-cap stuff, but having a third cap cover in his collection, that's pretty amazing. And this is a good one too. Um, you get cap there and the chains, and I think there's some zipatone on that. And Baron Zemo is there, so I love this. I love this cover, and you know, I'm jealous of Alberto getting another Zek in his collection. And I think that's Zek is his favorite cap artist too. He's told me that. So he deserves another great cap Zek in his collection.
So yeah, I've not heard him say that about Zek, but it doesn't surprise me. I mean, Zek, or for me, it'd be Zek or Byrne. I think are two of my favorites. I mean, I know there's plenty of other great artists, but I just like the way Zek always drew cap. I mean, and even the armor there, right? That was his kind of his style that kind of gave it that texture and the way it was inked, and it's always like that. So yeah, Zek, just detail oriented guy. This is just a great cover.
Yeah, and obviously the Zek market's exploded, and I think at one point Zek covers were going for $90,000. I don't know what Alberto paid for this one, but I'm surprised he was able to add another one in his collection.
Well, I can tell you, I did a quick browse of what's going on in Comic Art Live. A few of the pieces out there. There's some nice Zek pieces that are going to be.
Okay.
Just teasing at everybody. Nothing I can afford, but I did. I kind of wanted to see how many people had uploaded. I think we're around like 1,000 pieces right now. I'd still like to think we'll end up around 5, like we always do, because everybody waits to the last second. But the top, I kind of looked through the 2 or 3 pages of the top price art, and there was a few really nice Zeks in there. So, yep, it's already shaping up to be a pretty darn good show.
So top price art. So it's probably got some Secret Wars there.
Was this? No, it's not Secret Wars. Believe it or not, it's not Secret.
Okay.
But good Zek stuff. That's all I'll say. I'm not gonna say
all right.
Not Secret Wars. All right. So we've got let's see, a Pollard and Tangal.
Yes.
Page. And Ryan, how's the last name? DeSerpa.
Yeah, when I think of the great Teen Titans art, I always think about Perez first, and then I also think about Ed Barado, but I never think about Keith Pollard. And when I saw this, I had no idea with Keith Pollard. I mean, that's probably why Romeo Tagala was the inker, because he can keep some consistency between as the penciler changes. But I didn't have any idea what this with Keith Pollard, but I thought it looked amazing. Even well before I even knew, I figured out that it was Keith Pollard. So you got all the action. You got Starfire, you got the Wonder Girl, and then you have Wonder Girl and Cyborg fighting. So it's not a big image, but there's enough there to say this is an action filled page, and so I love it. I guess if it was Perez, it would probably cost a whole bunch more, but with Keith, I think Keith did a great job here.
No, it's a great action page, honestly. I mean, every single panel you've got a battle going on one way or another, and different angles on it. I mean, I've always loved Pollard's work. So yeah, this is and you're right. I mean, you put Romeo's inking on it, and that's the consistency, right, for much of the Teen Titans runs. But yeah, this is a great page. It really is.
Yeah.
He threw in. Let's see here. Just curious. Oh, he just put it up against the actual published page. See, nice. It's like that. The photograph here. Look, it's not as yellow as the other scan. I was thinking it was like toned, but then you see it in that right there, and it looks nice and clean. I wonder why the better image is off color, or maybe this is not as. Maybe this is the one that's off color. It's usually the other way around. Usually when you take it with your cell phone, that's the one that's the worse image. So interesting.
Well, I think they're both maybe taken with a cell phone.
Yeah. Well, that's true. I mean, it is on a dark black. It's hard to say.
Yeah. Right.
But hey, I should say this. I actually saw somebody go premium for the first time while we were in the show. Joseph Jorgensen. I don't know who Joseph Jorgensen is, but he became a brand new premium member while we were doing the show. So thank you, Thank you, Joseph Jorgensen.
Welcome to the club.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, almost 1,200 strong, I think, right now, which is pretty
Wow.
impressive. Yeah, I know. I was a little surprised too. It always kind of peaks
Mhm.
as we get in close to Comic Art Live. You know, that
Mhm.
the month before and the month of. So I think we're at a new record kind of point for the number of premium members. So and many new ones. Yeah,
Mhm.
the last couple of weeks. So that's always good.
Mhm. Yeah,
Um,
I'm hope to find more Keith Pollard new Teen Titans. So, if they look this great, I'm in the hunt for them.
I mean, have you ever seen it one before? You know, honestly, I didn't know Pollard drew Teen Titans until I saw this page. So I mean,
Yeah, he's a very underrated artist. He always goes under the radar. So he's drawn all the big books. So,
Mhm.
um, I love his work. So, and Fantastic Four, when he had Sidnut inking over him, and he looked great. So, I'm going to be looking for his Teen Titans now.
All right. Well, you might have some competition for that after seeing this page.
Yeah. All right.
Here you go, Danny art in Tim Dury's calf gallery.
Yeah. I'm a Batwoman fan. I'm also a Danny fan. I do not have any pieces by Danny in my collection, but she always has an interesting way, an interesting perspective of every character. This is a very unique piece of Batwoman, but I've seen folks like Khalil, pick up some great Danny pieces.
Mhm.
Um, I hope to find a Danny piece and add it to my collection, but I thought this was a good example of her artwork, and I think she's rep by Cadence, and I'm not sure what her rates are, but hopefully at some point I'll either get on a commission list or I'll find a finished piece that I can buy. But I'm looking to add her to my collection. So and I didn't not many people ask for Batwoman, and I'm a Batwoman fan, so this is why I chose it.
Well, it is. It's very, very nice.
Mhm.
There's everything about it. I mean, I love the
Mhm.
perspective on this. I love love the stoplight. Swinging around there, the bats in the background. I mean, everything about this piece is just really, really well
Mhm.
designed. I even like the treatment on the hair. I mean, it's not typical. You see a lot of
Mhm.
fingerprints in the ink as well. So Danny's definitely getting dirty working on this artwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think let me zoom back out to look at it better this way. Yeah, no, this is a great piece. Really, really well done. Huh. Yeah, I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Well, congrats to Tim for adding this to their calf. This is a great
Yep.
example.
Yep.
And then I
Oh.
saw Chris has been out drinking and he just popped in the chat. Talk about being psychic.
Yeah. Congrats, Chris. If I mean this thing, I know Chris is obviously a Thing fan, but this is one of the best things I've seen in a long time. And Ed McGuinness just knocked this out. It's just, I mean, look, you can see almost every pebble in the thing. And I don't
Mhm.
know if that's Red Hulk or Green Hulk. I get confused when they're black and white. But I love how thing just punches them out.
Oh no, it's awesome, and even without looking at the artist,
Yeah.
you'd always know a McGinnis when you see a Hulk, right? I mean, I don't.
Right.
It's the way in the line work. It's those huge hands that he
Mhm.
draws on the Hulk. I mean, I don't know what it is like. Just when you first see it, it's Ed stuff. I mean, look, there's this other giant hand. I didn't even notice it initially. Where
Yeah,
he's throwing.
yeah. What's the weird? So Ed, he goes into details on the nails. I don't know. It's a funny thing about him drawing Hulk. He likes to draw all the cracks and everything in his nails. So
Well, it is part of his signature. See, Ken Martin says it has to be the Red Hulk since Thing is winning. Oh man.
yeah.
But yeah, this is a good one. I probably would have picked this one as well. I mean, we featured McGinnis on here every so often, but this one's killer. And you get the Kirby Crackle in it as well, and just the oversized behemoths slugging it out. I mean, this is an awesome piece.
But I mean, just looking at that thing, I see every crack in him. I see the depth of each of those of the layers on the thing. So, Chris, congratulations! I think in the story that in the description, he posed how he was searching long and hard for this, and and somehow he was able to find some leads and able to get this. So big congrats. I mean, I think anytime anybody goes for those searches for those, say Grail pieces, it's very rewarding when you finally get it. So mission accomplished, Chris. This is a great reward for your searches.
Yeah, congrats, Chris. I didn't know that there was a long journey to finding the piece, but it's always rewarding when you can track something down and then make a deal happen on top of it. A lot of times people track something down and it's not for sale, but but in this case, a happy ending for Mr. Snork and Kevin Sharp. You're absolutely right. I should save this one for an upcoming episode of Dueling Dealers. That's a great idea. I don't have enough. I'm running, I go to Google search and I just type in Hulk versus Thing. I'm running out of images. I don't know why. You think I should be able to find like 1,000 of them, but Google search is not being very friendly to me. So yeah, I think this would be an easy one to go ahead and use on an upcoming show.
Well, everybody can help out Bill by commissioning more Hulk versus Thing.
That's right, and you will become immortalized on the Dueling Dealers. So yeah, do the commission. Send me the final art, and you will you'll have your art part of the show.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to email Ed. This is just fantastic. Congratulations again, Chris.
All right, so let's switch over here. This is Chris Samney and Calf Gallery SA.
Yeah. I'm a Chris Samney fan. So I think everybody, it seems like everybody has a Chris Samney piece. I have one somewhere. But I thought this was fantastic. You got Batman. I think this is based on the '89 movie. So and you got a Joker, and look at the background. You have every stair with the contrast, light and dark, and you have and they're, I guess, in a warehouse, and then you have the background in the sky. So I think this is a fantastic example of Chris Samney.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's everything you like in a Samney. I actually I haven't owned anything by Chris, but I like this one a lot. I like, the Joker's kind of that Jack Nicholson version of the Joker, kind of just a really, really well done piece. And there's just so much detail in there. All the bricks that are drawn in the background. I mean, yeah, no, it's great. And doesn't Chris usually do kind of an Inktober set of things? Usually, I haven't been paying too close attention to eBay or wherever he usually sells those, but yeah, I love Chris's stuff, and I definitely should pick up a piece by him sometime.
Yeah, I think for his published pieces, he does that process where he prints out the layouts and then he inks over it. Because I remember seeing some of his original published pieces. There's some blue lines that show, and I think it's from the layouts. But for these commissions, these are like 9x12 commissions. I think he just those are raw pencils with inks on top of it. Every piece that I've seen from his commissions have been really clean.
There you go. And Marcus, you know what? You're actually right. Not true. I gave Bill a book with a sketch.
Oh,
sorry, Marcus. I apologize. I'm being corrected by Marcus. You're the man. Marcus has given me several books with the signatures or sketches in them, over the past couple of years, and he has corrected me on that. But Jill wanted to know: is your piece by Chris in a FedEx box, Larry?
Yeah, yeah, it certainly is. So,
oh man, you're never gonna. I mean, that's just. That's
eventually I'll get it out. I don't know which one it is. It's lost in one of them. Yeah.
Do you have any organization? Do you kind of like write on the end of the FedEx box what's in there, or do you just kind of?
I mean, I've been slowly converting them to portfolios. I bought like, I was a hero. I bought like 12 portfolios from from Anthony. So I've been transferring them. But eventually, I said I was going to organize the portfolios, but that's been a challenge. So it's just every portfolio is just a mixed bag of stuff.
Right.
So that's why I admire someone like Berkey. When we went to that hotel room, everything was labeled, everything was organized. I don't know how he does it. I just don't spend enough time towards the organization.
One of these days, Larry. It's just not important right at the moment. But I'd say, the thing is, I have everything in a portfolio, but I have no organization to them at all. Usually, when I'll get a piece of art and I just look for the nearest portfolio that I have in my room, and if there's space in it, I just put it in there. So that's why I haven't been able to do a flip yet, because I don't have a portfolio that has any consistency to it. That would give you a theme, or it's all X-Men, or it's all commissions or con sketches, something. Nothing. I mean, there would be no rhyme or reason for a flip for me. So that's the thing that I kind of regret is, or I know I need to do, is pretty much just take everything out and then organize it, separate them in piles and then put them back in the portfolios with some order. And then I will do a flip.
Yeah. Well, every time I go to a meetup, I just choose a random portfolio, and it is a mixed bag of stuff. Sometimes you'll see a Spidey 2099 cover, and the next thing you'll see is a commission. so it's a mixed bag of stuff.
Yep. Well, I think that's the one thing I've learned from the flips is, at least the ones that people have chosen to show, right? Or there's usually some kind of theme, or there's something consistent about it at the very least. So it's often the same time period or whatever. I mean, I like seeing that. So I want to try to at least live up to the standards that others have set for us with those. But I see a lot of people. Chris Snork says he does the same thing. Samuel Rojas says he does the same thing. Samuel, holy smokes! You know what? I didn't write on my list. There. Okay, wait. Larry, we're gonna do one more piece, and then I've got a package to open from Samuel.
Oh, okay.
I'm so glad I saw that. But we've got 2 pieces here. So
okay.
Go ahead to the next one. And I know this is Ron Lim's collection.
Okay. I think he posted this on like the last day of my selection, and I thought this was an incredible remake. I think that's some Zipatones there, but I thought the vision looks cool. And you scroll down, you see some of the Avengers there, but I thought this was a very original remake of a classic cover.
No, I agree. When I first saw this too, I was like, "Is this digital?" And then I realized it was, some kind of Zipatone insanity on it. But yeah, no, it's really, really well done. I'd love to see this piece in person. So I mean, Ron had to be pretty blown away to see this piece. I mean, it's a classic image anyway. I mean, it's like well, I won't reference anything else, but I mean, I love seeing recreations. I love seeing other artists take on this particular cover because it's such a great image. And yeah, this is killer.
I'll be honest, everybody knows the commission process. You just ask what you want and see what the artist thinks about doing it. I would have never this isn't one of my covers that I would say, okay, I want this artist to recreate this image. And this obviously turned out fantastic. So I don't know if Ron anticipated this is how it was going to look, but that's pretty incredible. I just it's of all the covers, you chose this cover and you said this is the best. This is the cover I want this artist to remake because it's going to turn out incredible. I sometimes you just get lucky, and I think this probably has exceeded his expectations.
Yeah, no, it's gorgeous. I saw Mikhail mention that Ron did the kind of trade dress and the color work on it, so I was curious what that looked like. So good job there, Ron.
Nice, Ron.
Yeah, really well done. Oh, nice. I mean, this is a great piece. Well, congrats, Ron.
Yeah. It almost looks digital, but if that's everything there is handmade, that's incredible. Yeah.
All right, one more. So let's see. Oh, this was This was the first time, everybody, where I had someone do a guest selection, and not one, but 2 of their pieces ended up getting turned off, deleted, or whatnot. One immediately after I got the list from Larry, and then today when I was pulling up the tabs, another one disappeared. So Larry had to do some fast work in here to fill all 10 slots, and this was his last pick. The Neil Adams X-Men 59 in Jason D'Ambrosio's calf collection.
And just because I didn't pick it, does not mean it didn't deserve to be here. It is a fantastic Neil Adams. I honestly thought, Bill, you were going to choose this, so I didn't choose it. But yes, Neil was somebody's top 5. I don't know if it was me or Jason. So obviously Neil's run on the X-Men is absolutely fantastic. But what I also love about this page is, like, in the back, It's hard to see, but that's Cyclops in that costume that you've rarely seen. He has one where the lightning bolts go across from the shoulder to the waist.
I thought he was dressed as Quicksilver or something in that one. I can't
That's
remember.
that's
They were
right.
trying to dupe the Sentinels with their powers or something like that by, making them think he was somebody else, or I can't remember that.
You're absolutely right. That was exactly what was happening. So, I think that's, to me, that's a nice feature of this page is seeing Cyclops in that costume, because few people other than a couple, some of the most fanatic X-Men fans like Jason D'Ambrosia would know about that costume. But I think it's pretty cool that he has a page with that costume.
Nope, I agree.
Havoc's design is amazing. So having him done by Neil Adams, that's a nice gift. And I don't know. I can't remember who that is. I don't know if that's Magneto. I don't know who is.
That was oh gosh, what was his name? I mean, I think Jason wrote about it, but I can't. Yeah, I'm not going to be able to read it now.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it's a definite, very memorable page. Classic design on Havoc. I mean, I always liked Neil Adams' Ms. Mystic, right? It had some similar like Havoc-y kind of designs in her costume. So he was definitely an interesting. He had a good eye for certain stuff. And there was somebody had a license plate idea for you too, Larry. Where was that? Oh, it was Scott Wingo. Did you see that? FedEx box.
Nice, Scott.
That's going to be a new thing we're going to do here on the channel. Any night you want to do it, if I have a guest and you want to come up with a good license plate for them, you throw them out there at the guests and give them something to think about while we're trying to do an interview. I love it. All right, well, very good picks as well. And this one was on my list, and Adams was in my top 5. I think he was my 4th or my 3rd. I don't know. I had him up there. But yeah, no. Well, Jim Lee was my 5, so I think it was either my 3 or my 4.
Yeah,
but yeah. No,
so you might be wondering how I came up with the replacement so soon after you told me that one of my choices got taken down. So actually, I was chatting with me and Mikhail were chatting with Jason, and Jason's like, "Hey, how come nobody chose my piece? How come my piece didn't get chosen for top 10?" So that conversation was happening at the same time. You emailed me, so I was like, "Oh, well, now I finally have a really great replacement."
Exactly. Well, that's it's tough. I mean, because I had this was one of my finalists, but then I thought, well, Jason, and I know it's tough. It's a good piece. But I think I picked pretty good pieces when I did my selection. So, I mean, it is what it is. But hey, before I look at these, let's go ahead and I got to open this package, because if not, I will totally forget. And I know that, I won't even open this one. I'm pretty confident this is the latest Hakes catalog. I will have Hakes on the show next week, everybody, doing a preview for their stuff. Now, I have to say, Samuel, I did not expect this box to be as huge as it is. But the story behind this one is that, remember, I went up to Ohio. It was the same week that Samuel emailed or mailed this to me, and I thought, and the delivery date was going to be Friday, and of course I was flying to Ohio on Wednesday and driving back on Sunday. So I have an account on the site, so I decided I would log in and see if they would let me hold it. And of course they charge you $15 to hold it or whatever. And I was able to say deliver it on Monday, right, the day I get back. Well, so everything seems fine. I get all confirmations that it'll be delivered on Monday, and Monday rolls around, doesn't show up. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think by Wednesday, I think I kind of contacted them through the site saying, what's up with my the package? It's still in this location in Florida. It hasn't moved. And so they said, well, wait till Friday and open a claim. So I opened a claim on Friday, and basically they said, we can't find it. We don't know where it went. And so I felt terrible. I'm like, oh my, this is the first thing I've got from somebody where it's basically been lost, and it's all my fault for deciding to try to delay it. And my kids were here. I just felt like, I just was worried. They don't go out the front door all the time. I'm thinking, they might not see it if it got left outside, and that would have been tragic. So, but eventually it did turn up after I initiated the claim. Somehow they managed to find it.
Is this UPS or FedEx?
This was UPS.
Okay.
Oh gosh, it's a heavy one. All right, so another box. Hi, Bill. This is a gift as thanks for all you've done and continue to do for comic art. Samuel Rojas. So let me get this.
Is that
Can you guess
an artist edition? I think it's a Brian Boland artist edition.
Oh, did you read the back?
No.
Okay. Well, we'll see. We'll see if your guess is right.
Well, probably would say in the back if it was, but
I'm not gonna let you see. That's gonna be a surprise. We'll see if Larry's right. Okay. Oh man, this is okay. Now I know why the packaging was so large. All right. And is Larry correct? Larry is correct. There you go, everybody. Look at that. The artist edition, Brian Bolland. Samuel contacted me after I got to do that interview with Brian, and because I mentioned I was actually looking for this and I couldn't find one because they were all sold out. And he was like, "Well, I actually have two." So I was like, "Oh, really? And maybe we can work something out." And he sent this to me, and I mean, this is I love Judge Dredd. I really do. I love Brian Bolland. That was like a thrill for me to get the chance to interview him. And so, man, Samuel, thank you so much. Man, it's not going to open it up, but I can't wait to crack this thing open tomorrow and pour over it because, I mean, obviously the scans, the pages are life size, just like you like from a good artist edition. And this is the Apex edition, by the way. That was
so I do have a copy of that, and the reason why I thought it because I noticed the white packaging. So I didn't see the words on it, but I was like, there's only one artist edition I know that has white packaging. That's why I guessed Boland. But I got that like 2 months ago from Toronto.
Well, this is I can't wait. Thank you so much, Samuel. This is awesome.
That's awesome, Samuel. And you're gonna love it when you see the double page splash in there. It looks incredible.
Oh man, I'm so excited. I love Brian's work. And I know I'll never own anything published by him, but that's I can't wait to see this. And
Octavia told me that I should pick the lotto numbers next. Oh, I'll win $1 billion.
Right? Yeah, why not? Right? Cool. Well, thank you so much, Samuel. I really appreciate it. That's incredible.
Yeah.
Oh man. So let's go ahead to my picks now, and I think everybody's
and as you said, it's out of print, so it's impossible.
Right. Well, that was the thing. Because I knew about it. I didn't buy it when it came out, and then when I was I knew I was going to interview Brian. It reminded me that I wanted to get it, and then so I went out to look for it, and you couldn't get it. How many were printed? There was a very limited run on that book too.
I don't know, and I never saw it on Amazon, so it like sold out before it became available on Amazon.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I remember it was a low print run, whatever it was. But so yeah, I was really disappointed about it, and because there was some when I was doing my research on Brian, I think he talked a bit about the Apex edition and what went into it. He said he didn't get to have the choice on the cover, and that was what reminded me about wanting to get it. And then so I was disappointed. But again, awesome. Thank you so much, Samuel. And good night, ML. He is off for the weekend.
Good night, ML. And it's a great gift, Samuel.
So first pick here for me. It's I know people are probably going, what? But I mean, this is I had to pick this one because I mean, this is if you ever hung around with Oranga, he says this all the time. This is some racist stuff going on here. And then of course it's a Bill Morrison drawing, and Bill's been doing these for people. I know they've been advertising for them through 4C, and I've been thinking of getting one myself. I know that Anthony and Sharon are getting one done. They worked out something when they were in Baltimore with Bill. So I don't know. I just love Bill's work, and the thing is, I talked to him for a little bit when I was there, and I just remarked that, Bill, I recognize you, for all the work that you do with Simpsons and this kind of genre area kind of artwork. But I told him I was most impressed by the painted works that we'd seen recently. Remember there was that Spider-Man piece? I don't even remember where that was. It might have been something I saw on 4C, but there was a you know, at the end of the day, I was talking to him about the other work that he's done, but I just love this. And there you go. Jeff said he spit? He almost did a spit take when he was asked to do that, but oh, and he did one from Garcia Lopez. That's true, Rich.
Yeah.
I think I saw that too.
That was a great one too.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Bill drew this live on you know on YouTube. So
oh, I missed that. See, I totally missed that.
yeah,
but
it was during the 4C SketchCon. He drew the live. So
well, the likeness is uncanny, Araga, down to the hair on the chest. So yeah, no, this is. I mean, when I saw this, I'm like, I have to get one sometime soon. So good. And when I was talking to Ken today too, I just to let everybody know, you should try to get one. Definitely get get in line, get yourself signed up, reach out to Ken, and you want to get Simpsonized. You really do. So I do. Everybody should.
right.
So yeah, so that's all. And I can't. And have I featured anything by Bill in the past? I don't think I have. So it was long overdue to feature a piece by Bill. All right, next up, this is Tony DeZuniga. This is a Star Wars illustration from 2004. I don't know if it was a published piece. Was it? I don't believe so. But this is the other piece.
I don't think so either.
This was the other piece by Jason K. And you can see what I just couldn't remove it. After I saw your pick, because I never reveal my picks to the person who's selecting, whether it's Chris or a guest. I just really like this image. I mean, I kind of like the fact that the characters aren't necessarily film, spot on. I mean, as far as the characters are, that it just feels like their take on it. And I just liked it. I love the brushwork in it. I just thought it was just a really, really nice piece. So I kept it.
Yeah. Tony did his own way of drawing this. I mean, everybody's seen a Star Wars piece, but this is Tony's unique take on it, and I thought it was fantastic as well too.
Yeah, it was striking. I had, just seeing the thumbnail, I was like, all right, I got to look at it because it's just so well done. But yeah, no, it's a good one. So congrats to Jason. I mean, I think he posted several pieces that were worthy of being included in tonight's picks but yeah, so it was difficult. I picked this one, and then I think I came across another one, and then I saw yours, and yeah, it was tough. So Tyler has a pick in here tonight. I mean, we featured a few things here and there, but I love this one. I mean, he always just crams in so much detail in here, but Darrow really just kind of outdid himself on this one when I was looking at it. I mean, just all the detail in that. I mean, I assume it's water. I didn't look at the color image, but you just look at this thing, and it's just I'm looking at it now, and it's just uncanny how much detail is crammed into this page. It's stunning. I mean, I've never owned anything by Darrow, but you see something like this, and you want to.
Yeah, you should see some of the other Darrow pieces that Tyler has. I mean, it's just not just all the line works that he does, but Darrow gets all really creative with these. I think another one that Tyler has, he has like a shark with like an engine on it. I mean, that's what Darrow does. He finds these ways to draw these unique creatures or unique objects, and then he'll add Shaolin Cowboy, or he'll add the robot. I forgot his name, but yeah, Jeff Darrow does great work.
Big guy and Rusty the Robot. Yeah, I mean, this thing is awesome. I mean, so this is a piece of art I could look at for a long. I mean, there's just so much to see in it, but man, it's incredible. Well, good pickup here.
Nice, Tyler.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that one out. I didn't read what Tyler wrote about the piece either, so I'll save that tab for later. So Seamus, this is a piece out of his collection. This is by, and I always forget the artist's name on this one. It is by Craig Deeks.
Right.
And this was a commission piece that Seamus did with Craig. And, I saw it and I was just blown away by the color palette on it.
Yeah.
I mean, number one, I mean, I think that's the initial, first striking thing about it. It's very, very unique. And then just, you get all the Spider-Verse characters in here. I really, I love the paunch Spider-Man. I mean, that's the dad bod, I guess, and that's really fun, and just the whole overall image. I mean, it's just amazing. I didn't catch what the size was on it, but is it in the description? No, but oh well, here's a picture with
yeah, here's a picture of it.
So it's got to be that's a little oversized.
Yeah, a little bit over 11 by 17.
Probably like 12 by 18, maybe 11 by 17.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just gorgeous. So yeah, this was an easy one. When I saw it, I knew I was going to use it for the show thumbnail, and yeah, no, this was a piece I had to select.
Yeah, the background on this, you're right. The color palettes, that's just incredible what Craig did.
Yeah, no, and is there a lot of art on the site by Craig? I'm just kind of curious.
I think there's a couple pieces.
All right, 18
and I think he's still taking commissions too, if anybody's interested. So.
Cool. Well, there you go. If you're interested, reach out. I mean, I'm sure Seamus could actually help you in a connection too. So yeah, very nice work.
Yeah, he's repped by Michael. I actually own that Spider-Man 2099 piece in the middle.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. But Michael Alexander is his rep. So yeah, he does some incredible
more great
work.
art. Yep. And Seamus is in the 15 by 20 is the size.
Oh,
thank you for that.
Huge.
Black Viper of Thorn. Yeah, that is huge. Awesome. Well, that's an impressive piece. It's got to get hung on the wall, I would think. All right. So next up, in Daryl's Bat Cave. I mean, I don't know. Everybody knows I'm a sucker for Sean Murphy. There were a couple really nice pieces posted this week by Murphy, and I just like this one, the imposing figure. I mean, I just like. There was just the composition, everything about this piece was just, I don't know, it was enough for me to want to feature another piece by Sean. Yeah, so I don't know why. I should really pick up something by him, because as much as I like his artwork and I feature it here, I should own something by him sometime. But yeah, Daryl, loves the Dark Knight, and this is a great addition to his calf gallery. And I guess I saw that it was used on some other pieces here too. I didn't really do a lot of reading to see what they were, but yeah, he says I'm Batman. Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I don't know if you had a chance to read, but I mean, I think the White Knight series has been great. I really loved the first one, but the second one was pretty good too.
I did read it.
And the Harley series was great as well. So Sean Murphy has been doing a great job with his whole White Knight universe. Yeah, no,
I agree. We had that good conversation a month or so ago, but yeah, you can tell he's really enjoying it. But yeah, it's great piece, and Daryl's Batcave continues to expand. He's gonna have to add another wing to the Bat Museum.
Yeah.
Next up, okay, so we've got Justin Porter. We got a Ron Wagner, Bob McLeod inks piece here. It's got an overlay for the logo, it looks like, on it. That's what that haze is on it. But I'm a sucker for G.I. Joe stuff. I mean, I never really read the comic books a lot, but I watched the cartoons. So, but I like the piece. I mean, compositionally, I thought it was fun. And, again, Wagner isn't somebody I feel like I feature too often. So when I saw this piece, I was like, it's kind of a nostalgic pick in a weird way, but at the end of the day, not something that I read, but I like the piece. So, and Bob McLeod, I'm looking forward to interviewing Bob in a few weeks. I think he's on the first Tuesday after Comic Art Live. I'll have Bob on. So, he's just inked so many different artists, pencilers, that I think that's going to be an interesting interview. So this is just a great example of both of their works.
Yeah, just like you, I mean, I have nostalgia for that helicopter. I can't remember what that helicopter does. I guess the side seats like shootout. I can't remember. I think it's like one of those 3 vehicles in one things.
Right, exactly. I think that because they're hopping out of the one side. So yeah, it's just a great image overall. I really liked it, and yeah, there you go. So it's my nostalgic pick of the night. Cobra Mamba. Okay. I didn't read the description on this one from Justin. I love Justin's collection too. So anybody who it hasn't popped into his calf gallery in a while. Definitely should. Let's see, I got 4 more here to go. This one, you know, I don't see too often pieces by, you know, from Dungeons and Dragons manuals and stuff. And so I thought this was just a kind of a fun piece. Dave Dorman isn't somebody I feature too often. I think maybe we picked a Star Wars painting from him in the past. So a spot illustration for a you know, creature manual, a D&D manual, I thought would be fun to show. And you know, this one's just, it's a nice painted piece. You know, Dave's pretty prolific as far as you know, as a creator goes. He's touched a lot of different properties, and you know, and again, I always like these. I mean, I own a few Jeff D things from Villains and Vigilantes. I do own a few paintings from Dungeons and Dragons TSR stuff, but no character design pieces like this from D&D, which I would love to own one day. So you know, it's just a really nice piece, and this is the kind of stuff I like seeing on CAF. It's always a surprise when something like this pops up.
Oh, were you a big D&D player?
I played a lot of D&D, Top Secret. You know, that was the, you know, like the 007 kind of game. And then I also did a fair amount of Villains and Vigilantes. So yeah, all 3 of those when I was 15. So it would have been like 83 around, you know, from like 83 to probably 86. I was heavily into this as a player, not as a DM though. I was never good.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't very creative or outgoing enough to be the DM.
Right.
But
no, yeah, I mean, I know. Is this Steve's collection?
You know, yeah, I just wanted to, Steven.
Yeah, Steven's a big D&D fan, so it doesn't surprise me this is end up in his collection. Right. I didn't even know Dave Dorman did any D&D art, but that's pretty cool.
I didn't either, honestly. But you got to hunt for this stuff because it's just so hard to get. But congrats to Steve on that one. That's a nice piece.
Yeah, I'm hearing there's plenty of D&D art collectors who definitely are not on CAF. So,
yes. So that is
very good competition for those. Yeah.
So this is in Oystein Sorensen. I probably butchered that CAF gallery. Been a long-time CAF member. Let's see, gallery GCAT number 6670. What year was that? Probably, let's see, 2005 from Norway. Wow. Just a great, you know, I mean, what more can you ask for? It's just an awesome piece. We highlighted it. So you got Gerhard and Dave Sim. This is from Cerebus 167. But, you know, look at the, you know, the background, the painting, you know, it's just absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, I can't believe I missed this. So I wonder what parts Gerhard did. I guess he might have.
I know. I was trying to think the same thing, you know, because it's like he always did backgrounds and stuff. So I mean, it's just mostly Gerhard, I guess. I mean, at the end of the day,
I mean, that's probably all his detailing, all that cross hatching. That's probably all Gerhard. So yeah, we'll have to ask Gerhard at some point in terms of what Dave did on this cover and what he did. Wow.
Yeah. I mean, we were supposed to have Gerhard on this Saturday. I'm doing Vossberg instead, but the next Gerhard sales show is pushed to the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of detail that we can't see in this picture that we'd have to see in person.
Yeah, I agree. But no, this is wonderful. Even with all those skulls, it's a great piece. Dave did the horse hoofs. Yeah, that might be all. You never know. And this one, Frank Paul, who I'm not familiar with at all. This is in Magnus Art Collector, their CAF gallery. I just like the image. Yeah, everybody knows I'm a sci-fi fantasy goof when it comes to this stuff, but I just like this illustration. You know, it's just very 50s feeling. You know, from a pulp magazine kind of drawing, and whatever this machinery is, it's just. I just thought it was really, really interesting, you know, and I looked at it like at first you think maybe they're using some kind of craft tin or something on here, you know, as far board. I can't tell. But I just love the detail on it. I think it's just fun. I mean, as far as an illustration goes, and it has a little Escher feel in its own way, just because of the scale of it. Yeah, I just liked it. I mean, again, it's back to like the D&D image. I like seeing images like this on CAF, and this is an artist I wasn't familiar with.
Yeah, I've never heard of the artist, and I wonder how old this drawing is.
I don't know if they. It says 1931.
Wow.
Huh. And they picked
it's
it up.
Almost about 90 years old.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's so. This is probably before Zipatones. I don't know.
Yeah, because you're right. I mean, I was thinking that like Zipatone could have been used on
Right,
this as well, but it doesn't look like it though. I mean, it
right.
looks like the
Some
that
kind of
it's
wash
all
effect. Yeah.
right. They probably masked this machine and then
Mhm.
did something with some little bit of splattering or something. But either way, just a great illustration, and the fact that
Yeah.
it's over 90 years old and still with us. And it's something that was in a pulp magazine, for crying out loud, is still
Mhm.
around. I mean, that's a miracle in and of itself. So just a great piece to have on calf.
Yeah, that's incredible.
And one last piece. This was in Kavi's calf gallery, Milo Monero. I don't really get to feature too much Monero work too often because it's usually risque in some way.
Right.
But I thought this one was really, it's very tasteful. It's really,
Mhm.
really nice piece, a great example of Monero's work. And I'd love to own this artwork. I mean, I've always, clearly draws the female figures really well. I thought the face in this last panel is gorgeous. So, I mean, and again, I think I typically avoid work by Monero, right? I mean, I kind of always feel like I have to because it's just a little too on the edge of things I'd want to show on the show here in front of everybody and talk about. But I like the layout. I can't read any of the writing on it, but the writing is kind of always like a part of the art, the artwork, I think, in his pieces. I mean, it's almost too large, right? I mean, I've never quite understood that, but it always seems like it's the letters are twice as big as they should be, but it works so well with the imagery. So saw Kavi this weekend, and then I saw this piece, and it was kind of like, what, I haven't featured by anything from Monero or Kavi in a while, so he was overdue.
Yeah, I hear that Monero. I mean, he was at Como and he was very popular, and I've seen some recent Monero pieces. They're all amazing. I don't think I can afford them at the moment, but they're all beautiful. But you're right, they're all pretty risque as well too.
Right, but I'm getting it from Marcus. Pantsless is tasteful to Bill. All right, well, like I said, it's hard to pick anything by Monero. I mean, what are you supposed to do? It's what am I going to do?
Right, about as tame as it gets. Yeah.
Right, like Rick just said, she laced her boots. Everybody, at least she got that done. And Jeff Singh has an amazing Monero. That is true. Rich, you probably got to see that when you were over at Jeff's place this past summer, right? I think so. I don't know if it was on the wall. Remember the video clips you sent me? I think I saw it hanging up in Jeff's office.
Yeah, Jeff doesn't just have an amazing Monero. He has an amazing Monero story. He went to visit Monero in Verona, Italy.
Oh my gosh! See, I didn't know that. Man, see, I got to get Jeff back on here. The coniferous. Oh, I know the color piece, right, Rich? That's the one you're talking about. Yep. No, I know exactly. It's one of I mean, it's one of those pieces. How can you forget it once you've seen it? It's amazing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, of course, it's Jeff. So if he's going to ask for a commission, he's Dragon Lady. So.
Exactly. I mean, yes. Jeff has one of the most amazing collections out there, right? So, yeah. But yeah, no. I mean, well, so Larry, amazing. You did another great job. Why don't you do these? You should do these more often.
I think you're booked for the next couple of weeks. I don't know how Chris does this every week. This is a lot of work.
I know it is a
lot of art to look through. I don't know how you do it every week, but
by the seat of my pants, and that's usually the problem. That's why I end up not being as diverse as I probably should be on a weekly basis. Just because I am kind of I look at stuff all week, but it's usually pulling it together in the last day or two.
Yeah, and I'm surprised I'm the only one who picks a piece, and all of a sudden after I pick it gets taken off.
I know that's the first time. It's never happened before. Not to Chris, not to anybody that's selected artwork where it's got.
I did my picks late too.
Exactly.
Still happened.
Oh man. Well, hey, so Larry, again, awesome. Hang out in the green room for me, all right? Because I got a couple things to say, and then I wanted to talk to you a little bit. But thank you as always. You're always welcome on here, Larry. I know you're trying to organize a show too. So I don't know if you want me to ever talk about it, or if you've kind of got people lined up for it. But if there's any way that you want me to see if we can solicit any people. You just let me know. Otherwise, we'll keep it a secret until you.
Oh yeah, yep. I think the audience will love it, but yeah, I'll need some time now that I'm done with Baltimore, and I think I'll have some time to now think it through in terms of how I want this show to be. So I think the audience will love it. So.
Cool. I think so too. All right, Larry.
Thanks, everybody.
All right. So another, hey, a good show. We always need more flips. If you can come up with a flip for me, send them in. Calf cribs. I love those too. We lucked out with a couple of those last week, but we can always use more. We got Adam Law's dramatic reading, which was nice to have. One thing I do want to let everybody know that I do intend to do a Comic Art Live preview for the upcoming show. Now it'll be next. Well, shoot, it's coming up fast, isn't it? I guess, you know what, maybe I'm not going to be able to do this. I wanted to do one. Nobody reached out to me last week, but if anyone is interested in doing a preview of what they're bringing to Comic Art Live, I should have mentioned this earlier when we were talking about Comic Art Live, shoot me an email. If I can get at least 4 people interested in showing off any of the artworks that they're bringing to Comic Art Live as part of a preview, I would be happy to do a show next Sunday or this coming Sunday. And so it's really up to the audience. If you want to do a preview, I got to have at least, let's just say 4 people interested in doing it, and then we'll have a show. Otherwise, there won't be a preview. As you recall, that talking to Larry reminded me, remember Larry did a great preview for the last show, and he had like 4 or 5 guests on. They showed some work, and it was actually really well viewed. It was one of, we had like 1,200 views by the next day, so people were very interested to see what certain people were bringing. So if anyone wants to do one this time around, email me, let me know. If I don't have enough people by Saturday afternoon, we won't do it. And the only reason I'm doing it on a Sunday is because every day of the week coming up is booked with shows. As everybody knows, I've got the Vosburg sale. It's on Saturday at 2:00, so that's going to be a bit of a fun show. It's all that. It's pretty much the remaining Lori Lovecraft stuff that Vosburg has. So a lot of Lori artwork is going to be in the sale on Saturday. But I've got an artist, Eric Donovan, on Monday. I've got Andy and Veronica on Tuesday, doing dealers on Wednesday, CAF update next Thursday. Then Friday we have the sketch, the sketch event. So Sunday is my only day to do a Comic Art Live preview. So again, if I don't hear from enough people by midday on Saturday, I won't be doing it. So it's up to the audience to say they want to get in there and do it. Pop money to get ready for Comic Art Live. Thank you, Ian. I do appreciate that. And I appreciate your comments on my artwork this past week too. I didn't get a chance to reply. But thank you for that. So, all right, everybody, I'm going to call it a night. I've got a busy day tomorrow getting ready for the Vosburg show on Saturday. If those of you who are free on Saturday, please, stop by. Mike is always a great guest. I've had him on once before, and the sale was great, but the conversation with Mike was really a lot of fun. Because I think there's about 35 pieces of art in it. We'll probably do more of a half-hour interview and then just kind of roll right into the art sale portion of the show. But again, these are probably the last remaining pieces of Lori Lovecraft stuff that he's got. There was an omnibus that was recently printed, so it should be a good show. So if you can tune in on Saturday at 2, please do. And if not, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll be back at it on Monday night. So once again, thanks for tuning in. Thanks to Larry, and thanks to Adam for being a great sport doing another dramatic reading. And also thanks to Rich Cirillo for putting together those video clips. Hopefully we'll see the Neil Adams tribute later this weekend once I've